baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruite, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but this grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, then they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big. Dearly beloved,
Make sure. There we go. All right. Thank you, Mr. Boss. But hello, y'all. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. Y'all know what we do on Monday. Me and my co-host, Black Man, we come to bring y'all a good show. And y'all already know. We talking about some modern stuff today. We talking about them slaves and them simps. Black Man, come on up here.
We're talking about them slaves and them simps.
Them slaves and them simps. They love each other and they need each other, right? Isn't that like a good couple, a slave and a simp?
Absolutely. I love it.
Magic,
they need each other.
Right? How you doing?
You know, I'm sunshine, partly cloudy, but you know, as usual, as my saying always goes, I'm peacock proud, honeymoon happy to be in the building with the leader, the extraordinaire of marriage and family, Security Boss.
Woo! What did I do to deserve all of that?
Yes.
So listen, Black Man, I'm gonna need your help tonight. I'm moving into my new studio, right?
I know.
And you can tell, right? I see you. I see you.
Look at see me.
Wait a minute. There you go. I
see you.
So due to the fact the things that are in front of me, I can't see none of it.
Wow.
Mr. Boss is setting me up a new studio, of course, and all the things have not come in, but we like, you know how you be in between two places and you still got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So that's my story right now. So,
come on.
As far as this comment section go, we might need some help.
I got you. Don't you worry. I got you, Mr. Boss. I got you.
I know you do. But listen, we're talking about some crazy stuff tonight. And we got to give a shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew. This was actually a comment in their comment section. And what it actually said was, ask a man what is a good woman. And it sounds like a slave. and ask a woman what is a good man, and she, it sounds like a simp.
Mm-hmm.
So did you hear that? So in order to
Mm-hmm.
be good and in order, you got to be a slave and a simp. What is this world coming to? We're just about to fall off the cliff, aren't we? I mean,
All the way off.
head first, we going down. But
Head
listen, before we get started, though, I got to talk to you about a couple of things. Not really. We're going to just graze over these things. But guess what?
What's that? What's going on?
Nothing's really going on, but I got to tell you something. It must be the season changing because
Okay.
I am really believing that everybody or most people in these YouTube spaces are losing their mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going bonkers. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
true.
know. They're
That's true.
losing it. Have you noticed?
That's true.
They all acting a little off, right?
Yeah, I've been sending you videos.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna go a little further. I'm talking about the creators.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not the
Oh, yeah.
content
They
creators.
they on the downward spiral.
Ooh, what is it? Is it we've been, what? We been going too hard lately? Is it just the season change, the pollen in the air?
It's I think it's something in the bottled water.
In the bottled water, you think?
Yeah, it's got to be something. I mean, I don't know what's going on, Skip, but I hear a lot of stuff. I've been hearing about. We're gonna get to it in a minute. Go ahead and get
No,
you.
no, no, no. It's time because I was like thinking. I was like, you know what? Now, usually you the one, you the hated one on the block, but I ain't been hearing nothing about you, so that tells me you've been busy.
I've been
So
busy.
I'm glad. But I've been hearing and seeing so many other of my people like just going off, and I'm thinking, what are y'all doing
Man,
today?
I was watching a
Happening?
show the other day. I came in on the middle of it, and they were talking about men uh, dating 15, 16-year-olds. I said,
Yeah.
"What the hell is going on here?" And I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Well, you probably shouldn't believe everything that you come in on the middle of. So you probably you probably do right just to sit back and just kind of pay attention because we've said this several times. It's real easy to clip a part of a part or take something out of context and not hear the context and make something what it ain't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Real easy. And that's real easy to do. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about it because we're gonna just graze over some things. I'm not gonna try to rehash anything that's been going on. I just been noticing the temperature is real high in these YouTube spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wanting everybody to just take a moment and breathe. Just breathe. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I tell you. So listen, let's say hello to a few people over here. Let's see what we got. What we got going on? JG, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, Daryl Long. What's up with you, Daryl? Daryl been turned up this week.
He has.
Daryl been turned up.
He
Daryl,
has.
breathe, brother. Breathe. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Daryl. I see you doing it right now. Woosah.
Woosah.
Take heed. Take heed to the message. Hello, how are you doing, Mr. C? Mr. C said, I can't stand when they say, oh, you just want a slave. It's like, come on, man.
Yep.
Mr. C, I got to ask the same question because we all grown out here. We grown. What? I ain't gonna get into it yet. Mr. Gilbert, hello. How you doing today? Well, what's that next? Is that B or Bay?
What? Let me see.
Bay C. It's
B, yeah.
Bay
C, yeah.
C. The beautiful lie. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. No filter fine. No filter fine. I like that. Blue Universe, what's up, girl? It's good to see you. Oh, what is this right here? Joshi bed? Is that it? I know we probably saying that wrong, or is it jockey bed? I don't know, but good to see you and thank you for being here. Okay, so listen, Christopher Lee, what's up with you? Hidden Gems, it's good to see you. Daryl Long, Daryl, if you haven't breathed, we can't talk. Miss Tina, hello, how are you? It's good to see you guys. Listen, Sugar Bomb. Sugar Bomb. I need you to take 10 deep breaths and just settle down. Just 10. You know what? Sugar Bomb might as well and be a part of everybody's show because you know that everybody is calling her name now. Everybody is calling her name. She's like a part of the regular show now.
Didn't she get an Oscar for trolling last night on the Oscars?
We're going to have to come up with something because Sugar Bomb has really taken the cake. She got it. She's winning. she's winning. And I don't know. Sugar Bomb was SB the first one that gave you credit for your good work. Well, I don't know, but they using you right now, girl. They are using you right now. Shelby, hello, how are you? American Grow. American Grow, how are you?
American Negro.
Negro. Oh, Lord. American Negro. Oh, Dr. Steele, hello. Hello. Blooming Ebony, it's good to see you also. All right, so listen, guys. We're going to get into this. Oh, Christopher, you have a $5 super chat. Thank you for your super chat. Black man, I cannot. Can you
I
see
got
that?
you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Christopher. That argument comes from a bunch of people who are lazy as hell and don't believe in being responsible adults in marriages and relationships.
Okay.
They liars, bro. They liars.
Okay, Christopher, I like that. I like that. You know what? Because we did talk about the black man. I haven't seen you since the 7 babies, 7 mamas, and 1 daddy, have I?
I've been watching.
Oh, black man, what you think about that young man?
It's tough. It's tough. I think he's experienced a lot in his life that made him the man he is today.
Think this is a childhood trauma that he's walking out?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what it makes me think about? I have said this for a very long time, and Mr. Boss don't believe me, but I keep saying it, and sometimes it kind of we do things that confirm it for me. But I always say that a woman will like the man that likes her, and Mr. Boss was like, no, these women these days, no, they're not gonna like the one, no, they picking, they in control, they thinking they're in control. But he's a perfect example of how a woman will fall for a man that says that they like them. He's a perfect example.
Yep.
All that brother got, and this is what I'm telling men, I don't know how y'all gonna do it, but get you some confidence. That brother got some confidence. And due to that confidence, even though he's saying that they jump off, we will never really know anything about these women. We don't even know if this story is true. But he has 7 women that he's impregnated, that he says, and all 7 of them decide to have a baby. Now, I didn't listen to the original, but some say that he told them prior to having sex.
He said, I don't want no kids.
But some say it came after they came back and said that they were pregnant. Now, I don't know which one it is. I didn't.
Liars.
Well, black man. Some say that he told them when they approached him and said, I'm pregnant, then he said, I don't want no kids. I'll pay for the abortion, whatever. But initially, he did not approach these women and say, now we get ready to have sex. I don't want you. I don't want your baby. And, I ain't wearing no condom. He didn't say any of that. So I don't know, but it just goes to my point, whereas a woman will like a man that likes her. And these women are not in control. There's no way you should have a child by a man that don't even want to give you his first and last name. No way.
Even last week when we watched the video of the lady calculating child support, we got them out. They out there. She said, "Don't have all your kids with one man. Have your babies with multiple men, so your income can be better."
That's crazy, black man. All of this is crazy. People are losing their mind, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Women like the man that like them. It may appear on the surface for whatever reason that women are in control and they serving it up and they doing this and they doing that. That's just not what we made of, though, black men. How do one man impregnate 7 women? One, he says, that had a whole husband and they're in control. How is that possible? You're talking about being in control. You're supposed to be able to, you taking your pill, you doing this, you playing being you yesterday, and you doing whatever it is to come out victorious.
Yep.
You don't come out with a child by a man that don't like you, don't want your baby, and won't even give you his first and last name.
Yeah, that Boxicon is something else.
It's losing. That's what's happening. It's losing. It's definitely losing. But anyway, it's losing. But anyway, we're gonna go on. Also, what about that incident between Illa and Anton? What do you think about that?
I ain't no panelist. I'll pull up.
Listen, Illa is one of the panelists with me on the cruise season, right?
Right.
Often he's there. Illa is usually a little more laid back. I think he just got caught off guard the other night. I
Yeah.
think he got caught off guard the other night, and it didn't look well. It didn't look well for neither one. You can't talk about somebody's wife, although I didn't know if he was actually speaking about his wife or not. I thought he was just making a general statement, but I don't know.
He was.
I thought he was, but it didn't go well. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. And poor Anton. Anton had to fight almost every day.
Every day. All my life.
Every week he got to fight.
All my life I had to fight.
He is definitely doing it. But anyway, that's about it. And then I ain't gonna go no further. That's about
go ahead.
There's been some others. Nah, we ain't gonna talk about it yet. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna call nobody out. But I just hated to see them both fight because I felt like maybe they could have been understanding each other if it was a different circumstance, Illa
Right.
and Anton. It seemed like it could have been, but they, it's just such egos. You got pride going on. It's a whole lot going on around here. And it goes to what you and I talked about a couple of weeks ago when we said, is it real? I think I was with you. We said, is this real or is it entertainment? That has been like the theme of the YouTube spaces lately. Is it real or is it entertainment? And it seems like to me, most of it is definitely entertainment. And I hope everybody can laugh it off and go on back to business and do what they're supposed to do. Oh, whoa, one more that I got to mention. That Jay Prince and Fatty, I hope and pray that they done. Black man, why you just up there shaking your head?
Because it's just so bad. Like it's just bad. It's so much. It's getting overwhelming. Like it's beef over here, beef over there. I mean, it's enough to open a steak restaurant. It's beef everywhere. I don't know.
That's why I'm saying to you, I need everybody to breathe because it is getting to be. They even picking on Aaron O right now.
Man, they tearing Aaron up.
How in the world can you pick on Aaron O? He don't even say, but like maybe. Well, man, he runs the show, but Aaron ain't got much to say.
Man, I wish Aaron O wouldn't have said that comment because that's what they on him about.
What comment did? Oh, that comment about the 16-year-old or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Was you listen? I happened to be on that panel that night. Prior to it went so far to your left,
right?
And that question I think was asked of me. It was an 18-year-old. What would an 18-year-old woman do with a 60-year-old man is what the question was to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Aaron posed that question. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I said that if a 60-year-old man
mm-hmm.
had intentions on marrying my 18-year-old daughter, and he came to us and said, these are my intentions, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. Because she's 18 years old and she was going to do what she wanted to do anyway.
Right.
That's what I said. Okay. So moving right along with the conversation, a lot of people kept interjecting and having their this and that. Now, when I heard Aaron answer Jay Prince, because the question came from Jay Prince, it wasn't a valid question per se. It wasn't one that Aaron posed to the audience. It was something, you know how Jay Prince be like, well, I bet y'all do, everybody do. You know how Jay Prince talk. So Jay Prince kept saying, giving numbers. He's like 18. He was like, just giving numbers. And then he said, what Jay Prince, like in frustrations, because Jay Prince kept posing these, what he probably thought maybe wasn't valid questions. So he just kept saying, yeah, Jay Prince. And then he said, okay, Jay Prince, if it was 16 and it was legal, I would marry her. That's what he said.
Wow.
I marry her. I think it was Mary. It might have been have sex. I don't know. I think it was Mary. So that is definitely what Aaron said. But it wasn't like, when I go out here, find my wife, I'm going to start at 16 and then go up, work my way up. It wasn't that way. It was like, you have to follow the conversation. You know how you can just tell somebody something so they can move on? That's exactly what it was.
Wow.
And I do realize that some people may have taken that out of context, and now they're trying to spread real nasty rumors.
They are.
That's not cool. That's not cool. It's not cool. because that's not exactly what he said. He did say those words, but it was definitely out of a frustration. Can we move on? You know how
Right.
sometimes people handle Jay Prince. You've seen it.
Right.
It's like, dang, Jay Prince, what you doing? Like that. But I'm not making any judgment calls about anybody, but it's been definitely taken out of context. Shortly after that, of course, I left the platform, so I didn't see anything more than
Right.
that. But I was actually there that night, and we all had our opinions, and it was not it just wasn't a bad conversation. It was just getting your perspectives on why you feel the way you do and
Mhm.
what causes it. It was nothing like it wasn't about having sex with anybody.
Yeah.
You know, in my
This
opinion,
world crazy.
it was more about your perceptions and your consciousness and how you perceive things and your biases. That's really what it was about. It got really taken out of context.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that from Aaron because Aaron's a pretty cool guy. Most of the time I've ever seen him been pretty cool. But anyway, we move on and we keep going. But let's get to this.
Uh-oh.
Modern men want slaves. Modern women want simps. What do you think about that, black man?
True.
Really?
Yeah.
Modern men want slaves.
No. Okay, let me break it down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
When it comes to men wanting slaves, I think slaves is the new translation for submission.
Mm-hmm.
And modern women want simps. In that regard, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like women want men who are straight up, men, and other people hate them as simps. However, you could look at it from the other side too. They only want a man that they can control, right? Because the world that we're living in today, most women, a large percentage of women are saying, I want a partner, I don't want a leader. So now we have this partnership thing going. These partnership roles are being shelled out by women saying, I want a partner, no leader. I don't want anybody ahead of me. We're the same. So when it comes to modern women want simps, any man that agrees to becoming uh, not the last word, not the last say, the one that gets up every day and his wife tell him what he's going to wear, what he's going to do, where he's going, what he's going to do with his money, all type of stuff. When it comes to those women, I think those are the women the modern women want. Men that can control. Baby, I'm going to the club. Baby, I'm taking a trip for 39 days. I'll be back. And the men will be like, okay, baby, have fun.
So listen, can I ask you, I know we've tried to do this before, but can you give me a definition for simp? I know I've asked before, but I keep getting, well, let me just tell you this first, and then you could tell me, and that'll make more sense to why I asked what a simp
Okay.
is, because this right here to me describes a good marriage.
Right.
A slave and a simp to me describes a good marriage, but I may be off when we add modern in front of it. Maybe I'm
Exactly.
off
There you
because
go.
I love to clean my house, but when I'm in here cleaning my house, I'm not necessarily cleaning my house for Mr. Boss's sake. I'm cleaning my house because I like a clean house.
Right.
And as an adult woman, modern, traditional, whatever, I would think and hope that she would want to have a clean house. So I'm wrestling with the slave part. Now, is it because, a traditional man would say, I want a woman that is domestic? Domestic in nature just tells me, a woman that knows how to cook, a woman that knows how to clean, a woman that doesn't mind doing those things. But it's not necessary. I don't mind doing this because I have a house
Right.
that was supplied to me to do this in.
Mm-hmm.
I have a space that I need to take care of. So when I'm cleaning up my house, I'm making up my bed every day and washing my clothes and my husband's clothes, I don't see this as being slavery. I see this as taking care of myself in my home, homemaker. That's the part that I contribute to this relationship. So when I go over to here, there's the simp part though. This is the one that gets tricky. Oh, in my day, a simp, we didn't use the word simp, but anyway, it would be equivalent to a good man. It would be a man that maybe brought flowers home for his woman. It would be a man that maybe catered to his woman, maybe cooked her dinner or did something
Yeah.
that she really liked or he thought, really
Yeah,
adored her.
that's not it. That's not it. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Simp is a derogatory word that we use for men who want women who don't want them, who will let a woman dog him out and he'll still do for her. A man that his woman disrespects him, has no respect for him, treats him, talks to him any kind of way, just she's bad. She could be really, really bad to him and she know he's never going anywhere. He's still gonna bring home the paycheck to her. He's still gonna take her out. He's still gonna buy her nice things. And she dogs him, cheats on him, talks to him crazy, all type of things. Those things are considered, a man being with those women are considered a simp. Now, if someone calls Mr. Boss a simp, they're calling him something out of context because Mr. Boss is not a simp, he's a husband. And so when he does nice things for Security Boss and he takes Security Boss nice places, he is under the authority of marriage, which a husband is supposed to do for his wife. You're not. Now, if you would have told Mr. Boss, if you would get on this platform and say, I can't stand him, I don't like him, every day he get on my nerves, he ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't this. And then in the middle of the show, every time you talk about him, he bring you some flowers and say, baby, I love you. Right? That's simping, because now you're trying to be with someone that does not respect you, that does not love you, that does not really want to be with you, and they're only with you for an agenda or a purpose that's not love or marriage.
Okay. Well, to me, okay, so now that changes so what is the man, or just the husband? So the husband, okay, so then what does a modern man want for a wife? If we're going to change the definition, because right now women are all the time, and I already know that this is a feminist talking point where you just being a slave. I understand that's where Mammy came from and all of that. I get that.
Right.
But they still haven't told me as an adult woman, sugar bum, as an adult woman, if you were to in a relationship and you had to clean your own house, let me see what she said. Sugar Bun said what? SB, they would call
they
your
would
husband.
call your husband a simp.
They would.
No.
What? Let us speak. Let us speak. I wonder why. But Sugar Bun, I got a question for you too.
See, everybody know I'm correct. Look in the chat.
But see, she understands though, black man. We're a little bit on the outside. I know I am. So I want to, because see, I'm more leaning to what Sugar Bum is saying, because the person who made the comment was more like of a city girl type situation. It wasn't a traditional woman that was making the comment. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So they would call a good man a simp. They would do that. That's why let me tell you this. What about Russell Wilson and Sierra? Obviously.
Well, right now, no, let me tell you something. Nostradamus, you know who that is? Nostradamus used to tell everybody their future and what was going to happen. A lot of people were Nostradamus about this relationship. Let me tell you why. They were calling him a simp from the beginning, saying he's with a woman that does not respect him. She's only with him for what he can provide. And she's still going to be who she is. She's not going to change. And I remember her taking time off, saying that she's going to connect with God, connect with her husband. She's going to be a different woman. She's not going to be the woman she was before. And now she's making songs telling women to be independent, get your own money. You don't need no man. I'm saying, woman, you're married. And if Russell is so great, why wouldn't you be trying to push marriage? Why would you make a song telling women you don't need a man? You don't need his money. You don't need his time. You don't need nothing. Just be independent. Why would you make a song like that talking against marriage when you say you in a great marriage? That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for me.
Well, that's sisterhood stuff. You got two different things going on right now. I'm trying to make some money off the sisterhood, so I am going to push and say what they want to hear. That's where that song came from, because there are many married women. You are Cardi B, all them. Cardi B is one of them. What's the other girl? Nicki Minaj, but Beyonce. All of them are married, but they're making money off the sisterhood by telling them that they don't need a man. So that's just sisterhood. I'm finna take your money, and the sisterhood ain't waking up. But let's just make it more local. We have a lot of people right here, young women, young and old, that are married on YouTube, that will tell another young woman, I ain't gonna say they would tell them anything, but they wouldn't correct them in their behavior. They wouldn't say, don't talk to a man like that, or they wouldn't tell them how important it is to be married, but they go home to their husband, or when they turn this off, they're up underneath a man every single night, and they'll continue to tell them that.
And let me add to this. There's a show on TV right now that just came out with Kerry Washington. And Kerry Washington plays this psychiatrist. And her dad has been in jail for 17 years. He gets released. He comes and moves in with her. Mm-hmm. In the show, it shows her dating a white guy that is treating her like nothing. He only see her have sex with her and he gone. And they show him dogging her out. So her dad tells her, you're beautiful. You're a beautiful woman. You have so much to offer. Stop trying to be somebody else's side piece and be somebody else's main, be somebody's wife. And she starts to cry and she says, okay, daddy. So time went by. She fell in love with her daddy's parole officer. Not fell in love with, but she started dating him. The dude taking her out to lunch. He's seeing her every day, spending quality time with her. He's spending quality time with her son. They're going out. They're spending all this time together. He's respecting her. He's not trying to have sex with her. And guess what she does, security boss? She cheats on him and go back and sleep with the white man that made her a side piece. And she said she called her condition, she's a broken picker. Meaning if the man was horrible and he was cheating on her and she was a side piece, she would love him. But since he's a good man, God-fearing man, she can't be with a man like that. This is the show. I'm telling you. She said, I cannot be with a man that's a good man. I cannot be with a man that's going to treat me right. I need to have some type of negative excitement in my life. I need to be triggered in a way by a man. It's crazy. And that's where we are today. Whoever wrote that show is doing a great job. They're showing today that women don't want good men. And she broke up with that man. She said, I can't be with you anymore. Because she said, you're great, you're loving, you're caring, but I can't do it with you anymore. And she broke up with him.
So black man, read this super chat for me, Daily Wrap Up Crew.
Oh, what's going on, Daily Wrap Up Crew?
Read that for me, black man.
He said, modern women are fighting arguments that don't apply to them at times.
Listen, guys, I shouted y'all out earlier because this title came from one of your comments in your comment section. I hope y'all heard me, but we got to talk about this because, and also thank you for your $9.99 super chat, because this is very important because women are feeling like they're slaves because they're being wives. And somebody else made a comment a moment ago, black man, I wanted you to read. And
they said you a slave, security. I've heard it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me about how am I a slave?
You a slave? Let me tell you the episode it was when you said you take off Mr. Boss's shoes.
Boots, I do.
His boots, and you rub his feet or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
they said, who gonna be doing all that? He could take his own boots off. That's just pure slavery, doing all this stuff for a man. That's slavery. Listen, slavery is when someone has complete control over you, forcing you to do something you don't want to do. Security boss said in that comment, I go to him and take his boots off. He ain't say, come over here, ho, and take off my shoes.
He didn't break out the whip and hit me upside the head and say, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. No, he didn't do that. But see, read this comment, black man, and then we're going to get it.
She said, maybe the slave part. Oh, here we go. Brittany L. Cobb, thank you for your comment. Maybe the slave part comes in is if it's the husband us demand and berating the wife to do those domestic things. Do these things or else versus SB example of taking care of her home.
Okay, so she's saying that possibly the women are speaking of the men being demanding or controlling in some way. Like you just said, both of y'all basically said the same thing. And I could see that would be an example, but who says that your husband is going to be that way? Why is that attached to today's black man? Why is that the theory? Well,
Mr. Boss, this for you. This for you. Get ready. Get your sound effects ready. A husband who has to demand his wife to do something, he made a mistake in picking his wife.
Absolutely.
Dearly beloved.
If he have to beg you to do anything, baby, can I get a hug, a kiss or something? Baby, can I make love to you tonight? Baby, can I take you to dinner? It shouldn't be nothing. A husband, an example of a husband, should be able to come in the house and say, hey, baby, go put on something nice. I'm taking you somewhere tonight. And you don't say nothing. You shut the hell up. Or he come in and say, hey, baby, can you come over and help me take off my boots? I've been working all day. And you come over and say, hey, baby, I got you. I got you. But any woman that said, why I don't need no man telling me what to do. I ain't my daddy dead. Okay, well, you're right. And so is your sex life. So is your marriage.
Like,
Dead.
ain't no woman saying that.
Ooh.
That's not happening. If a husband comes in the house after working 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever, and he sits down and he says, babe, can you help me take off my boots? You saying to me, there's a woman out there that's his wife that will look at him and say, why I got to help you? What's wrong with you? No, that's not happening. I don't believe it. I don't believe
watch this. Watch this. Let's involve the audience. Put a 1 in the chat if you know a woman have said that. If you're a woman that has said it, and then you a man that have heard it. Watch this. Watch the chat. Watch this chat. Watch the ones. Here they come.
Listen, I don't believe that. I don't believe a woman would do that. If a man asks, what you got? You got something? Because I don't
let me get no. It's coming. It's coming. You give them time. Give them time. They probably sitting by the woman that did it to them. So give them time. Give them time.
Be careful, y'all, because if she done already shot you down, she might hit you with something. I've never heard of a woman doing that. I don't really think a woman would do that.
Some women don't do it in a mean way. Some women just say, I work today too. I'm not helping you with no boots. Or listen. Or they'll say, let's take the boots out of it. Baby, can I get something to eat? You know where the kitchen at?
But listen, I pick at Mr. Boss like that, but not as a sincere, I'm not gonna get him no food. It's, it could be just me and him joking. Like I might say something like, you gonna clean my car today? What's wrong with you? And I'd be like, okay, I got you, but not sincerely. I don't think a woman that is a wife, that they're in a good relationship, will look at her man and say, I'm not getting ready to take out. He asked her to remove the boots and she turned around and said, no, I'm not doing that. That is not a marriage.
Let me bring it up to sheets by the pillows then. How many men lay in the bed with their wives and touch their wives and their wives say, I ain't doing it. I'm tired. I ain't doing nothing. My head hurt. Leave me alone.
So if she didn't, wait a minute though, but if she didn't do it, would that make her, if she did do it, did that make her a slave to him?
No, absolutely not. I think, like I said again, if your husband have to beg you, listen, I think a man touching his wife should be an activation. If a man come home and he grab you around your waist and pull you close, you should just completely give in to that hug. If a man in the bed with you at night and he rubbing up your back and kissing your shoulder, you should make love to your husband. I don't think there should be. I only know that a husband should hear is, no, baby, don't kill him. That's it. Other than that, you should be open and honest and just give yourself to your man. And I don't understand the problem. If you're struggling with that, just get rid of her. Just let her go.
But are you saying that's the equivalent, the man asking or expecting those things is slavery? If women, if that's what, I want to know.
Women think it's slavery when a man, women think it's slavery. Shout out to my sister. She's one of them. Men think they think it's slavery. My sister, perfect example. My sister would say to her husband, he would bring the plate. He would come and say, hey, baby, you fix me something to eat? Now, all the men standing around at the barbecue, wives and brought them their plate. And he looking around like, well, my wife. He's like, hey, baby, you bring me a sausage. You know what the food, come get your own food.
Okay, black man, that's wrong. That's wrong. I cannot believe your sister would do that.
But absolutely.
Before we get into that, Christopher Lee, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. He says, black man, Unfiltered, you
not that dude, bro. He talking about Anton them the other night.
Oh, okay. Christopher said something else. Textbook definition, black man unfiltered. You got it. Well, black man, we have Sugar Bum is saying a good man in these spaces, I'm assuming, or the modern day is being considered a simp, just being a good man. But I don't know if that's the truth or not, because
that's not
what you described is something totally different. But listen, read AL's super chat for me, please.
Yeah, thank you, AL, for your $10 super chat, man. Thank you for being here tonight. Hit the like button. The problem is a lot of women nowadays go into relationships trying to win. They want something for nothing. Amen. If they have to do anything at all for him, they say that that's slavery. Modern relationships. That is correct. I agree.
Okay. Anything for him. So it's more to it than being just domestic.
Yes. And once you get married, I always got to go biblical. Once you get married, the Bible says that when you get married, the wife's body becomes the husband's, who has authority over it, and also the husband body become the wives who. So my thing is this: you no longer belong to yourself when you begin in the union of marriage. And I think that's why a lot of women in the modern day times who got a job, I'm independent. Those are the women that have a problem with this because they don't want to be able to. They don't want to become one. They want to be individuals.
So we got a problem. And the problem is these men shouldn't be marrying these type of women because that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous to not your husband ask you to take off his boots. I can't get beyond that.
Mhm.
I mean, I cannot get beyond that. And you will just sit there and look at him and tell him, no,
It's
I'm
crazy.
not doing it. But black men,
It's
this
crazy.
goes back to a show that I had some time ago when I said that women should position themselves to always be at home before their husband gets there,
Yep.
always have something ready to eat and make your home or make your house a home. So when your husband comes in, it's a cool place to be. It's not a stressful place to be. And then that's the place where a woman would remove her husband's boots because
Exactly.
she's not stressed. She
Yeah.
hadn't worked 10 hours, 12 hours. She's good and she can breathe and they can have a good time together.
Mhm.
Instead, women want to work 10 and 12 hours a day. They want to do the same thing as the men do, like Christopher just said. They're challenging them. They want to be equal. And then they so darn tired, then they don't know how to be, or they're not willing to be wives. So there you go.
Yeah. There we go.
Read
Uh,
this super chat for me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Christopher Lee, $5. Thank you for your super chat. The fact that a channel such as this is highly overlooked says a lot about our culture and current mindset. Thanks for dropping game, SB and BMU. Thank you. We appreciate you for being here.
Thank you. But listen, you are exactly right about this. But okay, so I'm still lost on the simp part because again, I say this is a great combination.
Mhm.
Y'all can call it what you want, but I don't mind taking care of my husband.
Exactly.
Now, y'all can call him what you want because y'all don't live with me. I have a good life. I am winning. So if you want to call my husband a name because he takes care of me, I don't know how it would be any other way. I wouldn't be married to a man that's not going to take care of me because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to be. I mean, I'm going to be who I'm supposed to be as a wife. And I'm going to be pouring into him, whomever is Mr. Boss, is my husband, but I'm going to pour into him and he's going to reciprocate that to me. That's how it's supposed to be. So how can we, what else do we got?
Those men are called pans. So those are pans. All right.
PANZ?
PAN. But it's
Oh, like
PAN,
a
but
pan.
there's multiple of them. So it's
Oh,
pan.
okay. I got you.
So they're called pans. The ones that said men's are simp, married men are simps. But I think you could be a married simp too, because what happens is a wife will lose interest in a man. And then if she does lose interest in her husband, which is a lot is happening, that's why the divorce rate is so high, is because I think if a woman loses interest in a man and she talks to him any kind of way, treats him any kind of way, even if they're married, you punk this, you ain't this, you a bitch, you blah, whatever. It get to a point where a man just still run up behind her like a puppy, that's simping. Because what it is the old acronym is someone idolizing mediocre poo nanny. So she becomes mediocre. And when she's become mediocre and she treats you like, then you're simping. But if you see Security Boss, her husband, and she's driving a Maserati for her birthday and he's buying her nice things and taking her nice places and taking long walks on the beach together, that is not simping. That is him taking care of his responsibility that God put over his life. But if yes. Because what we're dealing with, people saying good men are simps, like Mr. Boss would not be considered a simp. And if somebody was on a panel and said that about Mr. Boss, I would have to take 30 minutes to destroy him because he is not considered a simp. He's considered a good husband. Simps are men who are married and unmarried who chase a woman who does not want anything to do with them, but like Will Smith, simp. Russell Wilson now, because the name of the song is called Russell's Prayer or whatever. So now you're talking about the name of the song is named after your husband, and you're telling women to be independent and get your own money and be by yourself. So basically, are you sending subliminal messages to your husband, telling your husband you don't need him? Because that's what it seems like to me. So now Russell looked like a simp. And ever since, and watch this, Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate for the last 5 years. Last year, since Russell moved to Denver and started, he's been playing like he on his last leg. He ain't completing. He ain't make the playoffs. He playing like straight trash. How you successful for 10 years straight, and then right after you just go into a slump. He no longer the same. The teammates not talking to him. He off by himself. He in the office by himself, away from his teammates. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say. You don't know what's going on inside that house.
Yeah, she's affecting him. Seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Adam a simp to Eve?
Hold on. And you have to keep in mind that Future, when he was talking about her, which he ain't no better, but Future was talking about her. He said, they said, how do you feel about Russell saying he waited to have sex with Sierra? He said, I ain't had to wait.
I thought Russell was doing that. Wait a minute. I thought that was the other way around.
No, Future said he had to wait. I didn't have to wait.
No. I'm talking about between Sierra and Russell. I thought that they were waiting. Hello? Can you hear
Russell?
me?
Yeah. Russell said he was waiting to have sex with her. He didn't want to have sex with her until they got married.
You hear me, black man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I don't know. Something just happened to my microphone, my sound. Hold on.
All right. You good? You can hear me?
I can hear you. No, I can't. Hold on for a minute.
All right.
Turn it down for me. It's whistling. My microphone just went out, but you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Ain't nothing but the devil trying to stop this conversation, but it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna stop this conversation. You watch this.
It's okay. It's all good. But listen, what you have here is that we have taken everything good and turned it around. Now, things that are good are considered bad, and men that are good now are considered bad, because a good man is a man that does and reciprocates what his wife does for him. I have said this a long time, that this is just a talking point from the feminist movement to get women to turn against men. But my question to you is, how do we fix this? Because women, like Sugar Bum said, they would say that Mr. Boss is a simp because what? Because he's here with me. That's what my husband should be doing. I should be covered. Now, are we saying as women, we don't want that? Are they saying that they don't want a man to treat them well? They don't want a husband that's there to cover them? They don't want to protect them? They just don't want it because they don't want to do their part? Or they want that covering, they want that protection, they want that provision, but they don't want to be domestic in any nature, and they don't want to do for the man. Because I think AL said, or someone said, anything that a woman does, she has a problem with. Anything. Yes. So my next question is, what does she want? What is a woman wanting to do that is man? What does a modern woman want for marriage?
What she wants is this. Let me tell you what the modern woman wants. They want to be able to get married to a really nice man who makes a lot of money. And once they get with that man and acquire that man, they want to be able to sit at home. They don't want to be able to cook. They don't want to clean. They don't want to take off no boots. They don't want to do anything. They want to live under the umbrella of her man's success. And that's what modern women want. They want to be able to cling on to that man, his money, his finances, his resources, and that's how they want to live. And as soon as he goes broke, as soon as he has a financial burden in his life, you will see the women who want to be there and who don't. And those, most of the time, those women are gone.
So when you say slavery again, I go back to slavery again. That is a part of me being a wife. So anyone who thinks that what I do is slavery, you got it all wrong. Y'all, I get, my husband has me in a position now that I pretty much do what I want to do. But the things that I have, I appreciate. So me cleaning my house, if I cook, now I have gotten to the point where I don't have to cook. I really don't have to clean either, but I don't want anybody else in my house cleaning it.
Right.
So this is things that you just prefer. These are my preferences, but this is me putting in time. This is me. I've been doing this for, like I said, a very long time. You have to work your way up to that. You have to show that this is what you're deserving of. Your husband has to adore you. You have to show him that you are an asset to him. You are his partner. This is what you should expect from me. You know, I can't just walk in and be like, what you know, and then you ain't even got your head on straight. You talking crazy already. I did this today. Let me tell you what I did today. I set up some interviews. I have some positions available at our professional, business. And I called the young lady. She answered. I called a young lady. She didn't answer. So as I'm leaving her a message, she calls me. I recognized the number. I answered. I stopped with the call. I answered the phone. And I said exactly who I am or what have you. No, I said, she said, who? I missed this call. Who is this? That's what she said. I missed this call. Who is this? So I very quietly, I said who I was. And she said, yeah. And then just talking crazy. And I was like, you did give this number to be reached through Indeed, didn't you? Yeah. Now she's calming down. Now she realizing, you know what? I done effed up because this woman was calling me about a job and I'm talking crazy. And just to the point where I can't even talk to her to get her to a place where I can say, I'm going to invite you in for a virtual, whatever, because she's so raggedy in her conversation. And guess what? Here we go again. All I said was hello. Now that's the second time that I've told y'all that I called a woman. This was a black woman. Y'all, I hate this. I called a black woman and they didn't know me because my number didn't show up in their phone. And they tore my head up before I could even say who I was. This is the second time that's happened. And I'm like, wait a minute. You put your number out there. I have your number. I'm calling you. Even if you don't know me, even if I'm not programming your phone, what happened to hello? Why you can't just say hello to me? So I was like, this is crazy. I told Mr. Boss, I said, this is outrageous. What is going on with us that we can't even, the number that we got out there, we can't even answer the phone with a hello. How are you?
Has a man ever done that to you?
No, I said that to him. I said, I ain't never had a man do that. I have never had a man to do that. They'll just, whatever the situation, if they don't answer, they'll say, I missed this call, and they'll let me just do my spiel or whatever, and then they'll catch up and we'll continue to converse. But women, it's been 2 times that I've had that happening. And I'm like, man, what is wrong with us? This is a serious issue. And then we turn around and talk about being slaves. Hey, I'm not saying that that's slavery behavior, but what exactly is going on?
Right.
What is it? What am I wanting? If I'm beating up a woman that called me on a number that I put out there to be called on, what am I expecting?
Man, again, if if your woman feel like she's been a slave, Mars Day had a song back in the 90s called Release It. And I think that's what you should do. Because any woman that does not see that is a sign of affection, a sign of love. My grandmother, 63 years of marriage, said to me, this is not work for me. This is love for me. And everything that I do for your grandfather is because I love him dearly. She said, so I don't get up in the morning pouting and stomping and getting mad because I got to fix my man a plate or help my man do anything. She said, God gave me a gift. I should appreciate what God gave and respect the gift that God has blessed me with. Shout out to my grandmother.
Absolutely. I agree with that. If we can choose, you choose to be happy or you choose to be sad. Someone just said disrespectful disposition, but why? But why? Why are we coming into the situation that way? Because guess what? If I don't know how to act, if I'm angry about everything that I'm doing for this man that I married, that asked me to marry him, then I probably would push to the limit and be like, I ain't no slave. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. That's what's next. For what? So I can feel worse about what I'm doing?
Yep.
So I can just be like not wanting to be a part of it, want to ruin his day, my day, the kids, if we have any, all of that. For what?
Yep.
I don't choose to be that way. And then again, for your husband to be a simp, because somebody else also today, they was looking at one of my videos and they was like, oh, she seems like a pick me. I'm like, really? No, I was actually picked about 27 years ago. This ain't no pick me.
Security ball, can I get real? Can I get real for a second? Mr. Boss, give me a sound effect if I can be real deep right now.
You're going to get deep. Let me hear this real deep sound effect.
I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Most of the women that say that to you, security boss, ooh, I didn't want to do this. Their mothers are the old hoes back in the day. Let me explain to you. Those old hoes tell their daughters, you don't have to do this for a man. You don't have to do this for a man. And those daughters grow up 3, 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18. And once they get older and it's instilled in them and that woman raised them, then that's why you hear pick me. Because what they're seeing you do is unfamiliar to them. People fear what they don't understand and hate what they fear. That's why they do that to you, security boss. That's why.
But you know what, Black man, this is what's gonna knock you off the feet. I may be wrong about this, but I'm almost for sure that this was a man.
Oh, same thing.
This was a man that said this. But I'm just trying to tell young ladies that in order you have to, if you want to be married, there's a role that you play as a wife. That role does mean taking care of your family, your husband included. It means that. That's a part of what we do. But you should find joy in doing so. If you're not in the place in your life where you don't find joy in taking care of another, being sacrificial in your marriage, then please don't do it. Don't ruin this institution of marriage. That feminist movement, keep it out there. Keep doing what you do. But it's not a slave to be married. It's not a slave to be covered and taken care of. I enjoy my life. I don't mind washing dishes. It's two
Right.
of us. I don't mind vacuuming my floor, and still you have a husband that sometimes want to do it with you or want to do it for you. You still have that. Mr. Boss ain't never asked me to come outside and change no tire
Right.
or, clear out no gutters. I used to enjoy mowing the grass with them. I used to
Right.
enjoy that type
Right.
of stuff.
And can you imagine a woman walking through our house and all of a sudden the lights go out? Baby, what's wrong with the lights? I ain't no bill payer.
Stop it. He ain't paid the bills. No,
Hey,
Black man,
hey,
that
hey,
is wrong.
I'm not no bill payer. What you think I am? You ain't no slave. I ain't no bill payer. We both in the same boat. Now let's sit in the dark and light some candles. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, men could be that pet. See how stupid that sounds?
That
That's how
sounds
it
so
sounds.
stupid.
Right. So look on the others. That sounds stupid when a woman says, I ain't no slave. Wait a minute. The Bible says when you marry, you both become one. That means you're one in the same. That means what you're doing for your husband, God is blessing you through your acts toward your man. So God blesses a woman who loves her husband, and he blesses the man who loves his wife.
I'm
This
just
is
I'm just confused about how would you prefer to be treated?
right,
Even for the men that call other men simps that don't equal up to what we're talking about.
right,
What should a good man do?
right.
How should a good man behave? You know what I'm trying to say? What
Yeah,
should be his demeanor? How should he treat his woman?
exactly.
Should he be mean to her? Should he be strict? He shouldn't open the door. He shouldn't get her gifts. He should tell her to shut the hell up. Is that where we're going with this?
Yeah, I think that's what they want. I think they want the toxicity of it. Any good man that says, hey, opening door, even women get attitudes when you open doors for them now. Oh, I got it. You ain't got to open no door for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I seen I see scared about. I didn't want to laugh at this, but I saw a guy in Home Depot. Well, I'm seeing you, Mr. Boss, the video. This guy was at Home Depot, and this lady was coming down the aisle. She just ran right into the back of this man. Bam! And she didn't say excuse me or nothing. And so he was walking. He was like, "Golly!" She hit him again. Boom! You in my way. The man turned around, grabbed his leg, looked at his leg. He picked the shopping cart up and just threw it and hit her dead in the head with it. Like took her whole body out. Like, I mean, just he was angry. That she pissed the wrong man off. He picked the whole cart up and just slammed it on the top of her head. And and I'm like, this is the world we living in, right? Men are getting so secure about men are frustrated. Men are angry. Men are right now because a lot of men are really trying. I'm not saying all of them, but some of these men are really, really trying, security boss. And what they're getting, the reciprocation is horrible. I'm security boss. I know men personally who allow their wives to do anything and everything they want to do. I ain't gonna say this. I had
That
a
man
family.
don't care, Black man. That
No,
that, that man doesn't care. That's
yeah,
dumb.
I have a family member who wife just went somewhere, and I looked at her picture and I say, "So you really finna let your wife go out looking like this?" And so I text him, "Hey man, you at home? Yeah, I'm here. You see your wife? What she just posted?" I see it. You ain't gonna say nothing. No, man, she gonna wear what she wanna wear, man. I can't tell her what to wear. I was like, all right, I'm gonna holler at you. I mean,
I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of times men say they don't want to control. They're not trying to control their wives. Now, I don't see it as controlling. I see that as protection. If you know your wife, well, if other men, if your wife is putting on something that is going to get the wrong type of attention, it's not controlling for you to just to let her know that's not appropriate to wear outside, baby girl, or whatever you gonna call her.
Exactly. It's a difference between being controlling and taking control. Because sometimes you have, as a husband and a leader and a shelter. See, watch this. A shelter or a covering, as we put it, men cover their wives. A roof over your house is the covering to keep your head from getting wet. The roof of your car keeps the sun and anything harmful from dropping on top of your head. The umbrella protects you from the rain. When a man is covering you, he's protecting you from the rain, the storm, the sleet, the snow, the hail. He's protecting you. And sometimes women, you have to protect women from themselves. Sometimes a woman will put something on and think she look good, but it's disrespectful to the vision of her husband. So the husband has to go and say, hey, baby, you can't wear that outside the house. I love you, right? You don't have to do it out of love. The Bible says speak out of love. Baby, I understand that you think that's cute. I do too. Wear it for me. We can role play. But I don't need you wearing it outside the house. Most women be like, you ain't my daddy. I want to wear what I want to wear. I'm a grown ass woman. If you have that type of woman, leave her. I mean, especially if you're dating her.
Listen, Brittany here says, as a woman, how do you distinguish being between being controlled versus being protected? Brittany, control is where a person controls I can't use that word, dictates everything that you do. This is somebody that dictates everything that you do would be being controlled. Protecting is that when he allows you to, I'm gonna say allow, you have an opinion. We may not go with your opinion, but we have an opinion. Protecting is when he knows how men thinks. Women don't know how men think. We think we be being cute when we put on little short skirts or little shorts, period, or have all our cleavage out, getting attention. We think we're cute, but men know how men think. So
Exactly.
your husband would tell you, don't do that, knowing that this is not appropriate for a wife or even a woman. Single too, it's not appropriate. And he would say, or the husband, the man would say, nay, don't wear that because that's not appropriate. You looking like something less than what you're trying to look like. He may not say you looking like a 304. Or he may not say you look like a prostitute or whatever, but that may be what they're thinking. Especially, Brittany, I'm not talking about you in this case, especially when you start adding long lashes, different color hair, very long nails, very high heel shoes, and all those things put in together. Because this is what you need to know. The sisterhood will not tell you when you're inappropriate. They'll tell you that it's fine for you to go out with your butt cheek out, knowing that it's not. I don't care if you perfectly shaped, BBL plus. I don't care if you 300 pounds plus. They will say, girl, you cute. That looks good. And they will not tell you that this is not appropriate. And some would call it body shaming, but it's not appropriate to be overweight and have on really short skirts and revealing clothing. It's not, y'all.
Right,
it's
right.
not even appropriate to be little and have on really revealing clothing, but it does look different. And sometimes we need to tell the truth about it. But I will tell you, the sisterhood will not tell you the truth.
And guess what? It's RIT season.
Is what?
RIT. It's RIT season. Ratchet in training. It's prom season. And I'm gonna tell you something. You watch these girls that's going to junior and senior proms, how they mama allowed them to dress and how the daddy is accepting and bowing to what the mother wants the daughter to wear. Oh, I'm telling you, these girls, we secured about some of these girls 16 years old and they dress like they 40, ass out, titties out, back out. If they bend over, you can count their pubic hairs, and it's horrible.
Well, you know what? Woman's dress is a big thing with men. See, again, the problem is that women don't think, we don't have the ability to think like men. We think we do, but we don't. So if you haven't read the books to understand what motivates a man, how a man thinks, you're not going to understand. You want to read those books, especially if you're going into a marriage. They don't think the same way that we do. They will dismiss you as a wife or as a potential wife really quick if they feel as though that you're not a good representation of themselves. So of them. So if
Men,
they're telling you something that
Mhm.
you think you should know,
Mhm.
it's best that you listen to them. Now, men are not gonna make a whole big old black man. We did a video about this. Remember that video got what 800,000 views, I think, on TikTok or on YouTube. About, you remember the one where I said it's a thin line
Yeah.
between when a man is picking his wife or potential wife and a girlfriend. He could adore the woman, let her get drunk, she out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, he out. He out. She out. They're done. He
Right.
could have adored her up until that day. But women don't understand that. They'll say things like, he need to accept me for me. No, you need to improve.
Right. Security boss. I say this all the time. If men listen, if a woman says to you, accept me for who I am, and she's adamant about it, leave her. Because what happens is, in a relationship, if a woman told me, if I told a woman, accept me for who I am, I'm telling her, accept me for this dumb shit that I bring to the table. Accept me for not becoming a better man. Accept me for not becoming a better husband. Accept me for not becoming a better father. We have to evolve. And if you're if you're at 20 years old, if you're still acting the same way at 30, you wasted 10 years of your life. We have to evolve as people. We can't say accept me for who I am. No, your husband is there to correct. He's there to cover, to correct, and to tell you about you in a loving way to help you understand, baby, you can't wear that, baby. You can't cuss like a sailor, baby. You can't be around the fellas like this, baby. You can't do, you have to be able to correct, and you have to be willing to accept that correction because he loves you enough to correct you. But if you don't want that correction, you are not a wife. So stop with these men. Stop dating these good men because you're going to turn them into monsters. Stop dating these good men. Leave them alone. Just let them find a good woman. Leave them alone. Go get you one of them dudes that's changing light bulbs on the corner or passing out water or some shit. Go get him. But leave the good dudes alone.
Black man, that's one of the problems right there. And I agree with you. Everything on that. The problem is most dudes, as much as we talk about we want that, we should be doing that and forcing that, how many percentage of them is actually going to actually do it? Very small percentage. And we give them the information to do it all the time. Some of us is living proof that we do it and we still get pushed back. What if? I've seen it all the time. Even on Boss Channel, some dudes be pushed back on her and everything. About the whole scenario about marriage supposed to be run, and she gets pushed back, and I'm starting to see some of the dudes be pushing her back. Like, what if it's possible? I'm like, it could be done. The problem is, you keep constantly choosing certain females based on certain attributes. One of them is mostly just sex, how beautiful she is, and you keep giving her too many chances. It's like you too content with her. Most dudes do not understand how to exercise their options to leave and mean it. That's the problem right there. Like, yo, I gotta, like, you know what? I don't force a woman the control. I don't control her. I don't control women. I give them a free will choice. Like, for example, if you're gonna go outside dressed like that, I'm like, okay, I told you I don't deal with females that dress like that. So she gonna have the free will choice to either choose to dress like that, go out with friends, or stay here and be conservative and dress casually or classy or change her outfit. She goes outside dressed like that, then I'm exercising my choice to walk away and let her sit back and think about why did I do what and be confused. Yeah. You still do what you want. I'm gonna do what I want. I didn't break up with you. You broke up with me.
But did
It's
you
a
walk away though, Mel? Hey, Mel, I
Yep.
forgot to speak.
Yes, I did.
Did you walk away?
I will walk away. Exactly.
That's the problem. I forgot who it was, but somebody in the comment section just said a moment ago, why men don't go after the modest dressed woman? Why do they go after the women who dress, who they got to coach? Miss K. Nicole said that. Why are we not going after the modestly dressed women?
There's another factor to that. Shout out to the late Alan Roger Curry. He speaks about this all the time on his channel. The Madonna whore complex. They want to think they could change a freaky whore into a conservative housewife and stuff like that. It doesn't work like that all the time, and she ain't gonna go full throttle the way you want her to be and stuff. It's like you want the benefit of a traditional conservative housewife, but be a super freak in the street. I mean, in the sheets at home. Most of the time, ain't gonna work that way. If she's not already built that way, the way you think, also too, then you can't change her that way like that. No, she's what she
Well, you know
is.
what, but Mel, I don't think that's absolutely true. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it all depends on where you catch this woman, what stage in her life that you're catching her. Because there are a lot of women that want to be wives that have no idea what it actually looks like becoming a wife. They don't know about the sacrifices that have to be made. They absolutely don't even know what message they're putting out there when they are dressed skimpy. So it takes the men sometimes.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that because I'm about to get to another scenario, but that was too. Also, this is why I tell some guys, if you do see some female thinking they change it for that, because it's that type of guy that she going to change for. Most dudes cannot accept that. You know what? They're not the guy that she wants to change for. Okay, she may have been like that for you, but she might be like that for different for me, or vice versa. I have to, some guys just gotta accept that sometimes you just wasn't that guy that she want to change for. And you see some guys get so upset and change, like, you wasn't like that with me. Well, you just wasn't that guy, period. You gotta accept that.
So hold on
Woman
for a
gonna change
minute,
what she gonna
Mel.
want to change
Hold
for.
on, Mel. Hold for 1 second. Black man, motivating visions. It says, "I'm still stuck up on the man calling." Let me see that again. Let's find it. I'm stuck on the friend calling, questioning that man house. I think she's talking about the fact that you called someone you said was your friend or was it a relative about
Uh-huh.
what his wife just posted and said you're gonna let her go out like this.
Yeah.
You want
Well,
to answer this
yeah, yeah,
question?
yeah, absolutely. Because in a circle of people, I don't know motivating vision. I don't know what kind of circle you're in, and I'm not going to perceive that I do. But in my circle, if I see something out of order, I go to the man immediately because when I called him, maybe he didn't know. So if he's a covering of his wife, let me reach out to him and say, "Hey, bro, your cover, the latch thing came off. You need to put the latch back on your covering over your wife," because he has the same mindset as me, or at least he had or used to. So I called him and I said, "Hey, man," he would do the same for me. "Hey, man, I think you need to go. You see his pictures that your wife got online, bro? You need to go check this." "Yeah, man." So he didn't got to the point he done gave up a little bit. So I reached out to him because I'm trying to be there for my brother, right? I'm trying to be there for this man. And when you got a group of people, if you got a group of friends that don't tell you about yourself, then you got a bunch of yes men and a bunch of, "Oh girl, you cute," and a bunch of, "Oh dude, ain't nothing wrong with that." You're in the wrong circle of people. You should always have a circle of people around you that will hold you automatically and unconditionally accountable. And if you don't have that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be around a man, his wife just like a whore. If I go out to Walmart and I see his wife just like a whore, I'm gonna pick the phone up. "Hey, bro, did you see your wife?"
So, black man, I want you to read my super chats for me, but I want to go back up because I think Perry and Kashi Walker had a comment. They said, if a 60-year-old man came to me and my wife asking for my 18-year-old daughter, I will tell him to get to stepping. As a father, I would object to this violently. Really? Listen, that would be probably, oh gosh, I wish I could have you tell me why you would object. But that would probably be most people's first thought. But when you say an 18-year-old young woman and you say a man that is 60 actually asking for her hand in marriage and has those intentions with her, then I wouldn't know exactly that I would say be violent to anybody. That would probably be my husband's, whether we give them our blessings or not. But as an 18-year-old woman, if it's gone this far, I'm almost believing that it's not going to be anything that you could tell that 18-year-old girl on what to do. These are my thoughts. Now, it might be a different situation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know why a 60-year-old would do that, but that was one of the questions that was proposed. But I would like to hear why you think that a 60-year-old shouldn't come and ask? I mean, we got our own reasons. I know you have yours, but shouldn't ask an 18-year-old? Is it the age difference? Is it the fact that, are there some other thoughts that are going on in your head? Is she not an adult? Is he too old? Do you think he would be doing something foul, or that, making her,
I know what it is. I know
her?
what it is.
I know what it is.
I know,
Yeah.
hold on, Mel. I got it. I know what it is.
Go ahead.
What is it?
What it is that we raise our girls, they fall, they cut their leg, we pick them all off the ground and say, oh, boo-boo, clean that up. Our daughters do this, we all. And what happens is the difference between a girl back in the 60s and 50s versus now is that my grandmother got married at 14. My grandmother at 14 knew how to cook a full course meal. She knew how to take care of a household. She knew how to raise children because she took care of her baby brothers and sisters. They raised her to be a wife at that age. So the equivalent now at 14, my grandmother at 14 then, my grandmother could probably do way more, triple more than a 20-year-old today. These 19-year-old girls, we're raising them, we're spoiling them. And then when they go out into the world and meet a man and he destroys them mentally, it's our fault. Because we're not putting our daughters up on game. We're not telling them what man to look for, what man not to look for. We protect them from every damn thing. We don't allow them to get stronger within themselves, or we help them get stronger. We don't do any of that. And then when a 60-year-old man comes up to your 18-year-old daughter, your daughter in her mind should already know. Oh man, listen, in her head, she already know. My daughter go to the store right now, prom coming up. And my daughter go to the store. Her crazy ass aunt took her to the store. And she seen a dress, and I think it had a little cleavage out. My daughter said, ain't no way I'm taking that to my daddy's house. So I got to find something else. You're absolutely correct. Because she already know how her daddy built, and she already know how I got her in her head. So we got to start raising these girls to be women instead of pampering them. And then when they get 19, 20, they can't even manage bills. They can't manage they can't even manage their house. They don't know how to buy groceries. They don't know how to fill up a car. They don't know how to put air in their tire. They don't know how to do nothing. They don't do nothing. We ruin them. We spoiling them. And now he come up, can I have your daughter hand in marriage? Immediately you feel guilty because you say, shit, my daughter ain't even know, she's still a child in her brain. My daughter don't know how to boil water. My daughter don't know how to do nothing but sit in her room in the mirror all day and watch these reality shows on the TV that I paid for, the streaming service that I paid for, the shoes that she got on. She don't buy her own things. She don't work. She don't have to work. No, raise your daughter to be strong women. And then when that 60-year-old man approach her, she knows the teachings of her father. And she knows the morals and values and boundaries that she should have for herself. And maybe that 60-year-old man will not even be with her. But if she chooses to be with him, she's already a wife because you've taught her to be that. And you would accept it more if you knew you raised your daughter to be a woman instead of a little girl.
Also too, I want to add, you remember the video with Shaq was on that show? How he would say, yo, I told my daughter, you need to be with a man that you can control. Unfortunately, we know why he said that, because type of man he was with his daughter's mother and stuff. He cheated on her multiple times. So it's also like a self-pity guilt trip now looking back, like, you know what? You don't want to be with a man like me. You want to be with a man you can control and stuff. But most likely she probably will wind up being with a man just like Shaq that probably have multiple options. You overly spoiling her, and unfortunately, yeah, that's a man that's technically just like daddy and stuff.
And
So,
I see it now. Yeah, I see it now. 18 years old, security boss. On my 18th birthday, I bought my own car. I had my own apartment. I had my own job. I was living on my own. 18. Go to the average 18-year-old today. Still staying with their mama. Don't know what they want to do in life. Don't have no job. Playing the video game all day. And lazy as shit.
So, black man, what I think, and I don't know if Aaron thought of this, but this is where I got it from. There's a pastor on TikTok, or he's on YouTube. I think he's about 60, or he may be more than that. He just married his young girl out of his congregation that is 18, and she may be 19. You know what I'm talking about?
He went off on there.
And yeah, I was gonna say he really, really went off on. But I'm hoping though that her parents must have gave him some kind of consent to do this, because they're still in the church, and he went off on them and said, if you say anything to this first lady that's derogatory, then we got, he got a problem.
Yes, sir.
I'm just the whole Aaron's whole platform on that day was, what is the problem with this? This is a legal woman. Well, women now. They weren't talking about an 18-year-old. They was talking about somebody 16. But I brought in the 18-year-old because I thought about the man and his daughter,
Right.
daughter, his new wife of 18. But so that's what we were talking about. That's what it was all about. And people do consider 18-year-old
Hold it
children,
right there, Mr. Boss.
18-year-olds as children. But I can tell you something. 18-year-old black men, you're saying that they're not capable. These 18-year-olds right now, they know a lot. They know a lot.
Not how to be no wife.
They know a lot, but that doesn't mean they act what they know.
Yeah, they
It's
man,
up there.
security boss. It's 18-year-olds out here that can't even ride a bike.
Butter Baby Beauty says I need to research that. What part do I need to research? The part about Aaron or the part about the pastor marrying the young girl? Let me know, Shea Butter, because I maybe do need to research, because I was on Aaron's panel and that was as far as we got. Now, if it got deeper, it happened after I left, and you could be possibly right. But Black Man, before you go, can you read my super chats for me? And we're going to go on with the show. Black Man has things that he needs to take care of, but will you read I think about 5 super chats there before you leave?
Yeah, Queen Sheba was wrong. SB the blueprint. Absolutely.
Oh man,
thank you, Christopher. You know what? Let me tell y'all something. I'm just gonna tell y'all something. I think this was I think that was not. I don't think Queen Sheba had bad intentions for that. I don't think, but that kind of backfired on her, because a lot of people, it put a bright light on Kayla, and a lot of people came against her for that. And it was terrible. I was like, wow, they started really kind of beating Kayla up, because they was like, who would like a wife like this? And, this kept going on and on and on and on. And I don't think that Queen Sheba intended for that to happen that way, but it did.
Words
So
have power.
that was a misfortune for that to happen. I hate that,
Yep.
I mean, Kayla and I have issues. Well, Kayla and I don't have issues. I have issues sometimes with what some things Kayla say, and I can easily just correct them, and just let her know, hey, that's not appropriate or whatever I say. But I don't think Kayla is a bad girl at all. And I do think Kayla should be getting married. I really do. And if she's not to be married, it's all because she got in her own way. But I don't wish somebody to, totally beat her up. Now, I will correct her myself, but it's all in, look, you're a young lady, let's do better. It ain't in, trying to do anything else. It's just, I think she's a beautiful girl, and I just think she's missing it sometimes. She may not believe it, but hey. But go ahead do that for me, Black Man.
Absolutely. Al said, well, $5 super chat. Women have always worked and worked hard. Check history. Unless they were aristocrats, they never stopped them from taking care of their men. Absolutely. Because the excuse the women have today, well, we working the same amount of hours the men are working. Well, I watched it. I watched my grandmother work. I watched my grandfather work, and my grandmother would come in and she have a burst of energy. She cooked for everybody, clean up. Listen, it was just they were just built different. And Bomb Cherry said that who raised these children? We did, Generation X. No, that's the problem, Bomb Cherry. Generation X didn't raise them. They let the TV raise them, or they left them at home while they were out partying, getting drunk, and getting high.
Let me add something to that, because I'm a Gen X. We didn't do any of that. Our children are straight up entitled. We gave them everything.
Yeah.
We need to be honest with this. We bought cars. We paid deposits for apartments. We did everything our parents didn't do. We were the ones. Gen X has screwed it up, y'all. So y'all just need to keep it all the way real. I know. Look, my husband done bought I don't know how many, done paid I don't know how many deposits, done bought I don't know how many cars, and it ain't done nobody no good. Did nobody buy us a car? But we did. Our kids are straight up entitled. They have even gone to I've heard them even say, hey, I'm gonna go around the world. I'm gonna go see the world. So how you gonna do that? My mama got me.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all hear what I just said? They said they're going around the world.
Oh my God.
Oh, my parents got me. Even to the point, how about this? I don't, as long as I'm a student, I could be 30 years old. I still think my parents should take care of me. Huh? What?
You know what's funny though? And also too, from Gen X, well, I'm a late Gen X, early millennial. We became a generation that we glorify early 30, mid 30-year-old grandparents. We became grandparents in our 30s and stuff. So much. Posting online. It's so hot to be a grandparent. I could go to the club with my daughter and my granddaughter, like, yo, I still got it. Now mothers in competition with their daughters.
I ain't talking about them Gen X's. I'm talking about the ones who
spoil their kids.
But that's part of it. Yeah. You see the domino effect when
I'm talking about the ones who say that I'm gonna give my child everything I didn't have, because we were the Gen X's are probably the first generation that said that were financially successful in any way.
Mhm.
Finally had some money. Finally could see some amount of wealth, or to say some money. It
Yep.
ain't gonna go with
Yep.
the wealth, just some
Yep.
money. And we just showered our kids with it. We ain't teach them a whole lot of they lazy as all get out. They're not made of a whole lot. I hate to say it. They're smart as heck though, y'all. They are so smart, men and women. I ain't gonna let y'all take nothing away from the millennium babies. They are very smart and the ones they're after. But as far as hard working, they're wiser, but working hard, hey, they're
You
smarter,
see the
but
domino effect with that also too. That's what I said. Early
I don't know.
grandparents, because when they kids wind up having kids also too before they even reach finish high school. Most of those mothers were spoiling their kids also too and their grandkids. When they,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
kids.
saying? But
Kids.
put more
Um,
blame on the dude instead of putting blame on both parties, making sure they both stable enough. I remember the show My Wife and Kids and stuff when and when Junior
made them sleep in the garage, made Junior sleep in the garage.
exactly. And remember when
But,
they
but,
when
but
they wound
listen,
up
right?
having a baby.
Mel, hold on for a
Yeah.
second. Black man, go ahead and read those because I know you got to do something. Please read those for me, and then we're gonna let you go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It starts as kids. When little girls start getting an attitude, everyone lets it slide, and some folks encourage it. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. And you know what? Most of the time, most fathers ain't doing that. Most fathers ain't saying, "Oh, it's okay, let it slide." No, it's mostly mama. Oh no, she going through something.
Mm.
Go in there, lay down, baby. She going through something. Baby, don't say nothing to her. She going through.
I don't know about that, Black
And
man.
now she's 19 years old, cussing your ass out.
I don't know about that. I must have been a crazy mama. But anyway, go ahead, read Big E. Read Big.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
know. Look, I used to be threatened to drive to college to make some difference. Go ahead.
man, come on, security boss.
Look, I'm
Big Andy
telling you.
11, $10 super chat, security boss. You about to talk tonight. Hi SB and like I said, not getting married. No, I can't come home and she done sold the Hellcat. No, I'm good.
Nigga, you crazy. Listen, Mr. Boss and I agreed to sell the Hellcat. Hey, Ruckus, how are you? Go ahead, Black man.
Ruckus said, thank you for the $5 super chat, Ruckus. Book recommendations: When Sinners Say I Do by Dave Harvey, and what he must be if he wants to be married to my daughter by Vadi Bacham Jr.
Oh, that's good.
That
I
is
like
good.
that. When
That is
sinners
good.
say I do. Wow.
I
Thank
like
you,
that.
Ruckus.
Mhm.
I really, really like that. So, you know what? We're gonna continue on with the show. I know, Black man, you have to go now.
I do. I got a few more minutes.
Okay. Well, listen. I don't know what Bomb Cherry said exactly, but I am here as a representation of a Gen X, and I don't know what has been put out there, but we destroyed our children by giving them everything and more. So we have a generation of entitled children, or I should say, grown people, but they're still not. Sometimes they don't want to do the mechanical things, and they grow up in this electronic age. Driving is a chore. They don't want to drive. They don't want to learn how to, my daughter didn't even want to learn how to drive. It's like, really? She didn't care if I took her everywhere. Didn't care nothing about it. Didn't care nothing about driving until she went off to college. My son was a little different. He wanted to drive. He drove everywhere. It was like dad said, look, this is your college get around car. He like went to Florida in the car. It's like, what? Bro, guess what? We ain't heard where the car is yet.
Right.
This that kind of stuff that so you know
Uh,
what, y'all? I don't know. I don't know where all the problems lie, but we have issues. And now we have a bigger issue because them same young folks are not getting married. Them same young folks are not getting married. Them same young folks are feeling like it's slavery to take care of the man that takes
yep.
care of you,
Yep.
or to be that wife, or to clean that house, or to do all those things that you should do as a woman in your own spot. Even if you don't have a man, why wouldn't you clean up your own spot, maintain your own bills as an adult? All those things that, slaves, really?
No,
Why
it's
wouldn't we
funny
want to
you
just do
say
that
Security,
for ourselves?
Security, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
From a biblical standpoint, I want to ask you a question. Where in the Bible does it say the woman has to sit at home and not work? I know I've been reading it for a while, but I still can't find it. It ain't in here nowhere. I'm looking for it.
I don't think it never did say it. Yeah.
It never says that. It says the husband goes out and work, and the wife finds things and buy them, and creates another set of income. It says she goes out. They said a wife is like a merchant ship that comes from afar.
Well,
So
that's
she
a
go.
virtuous woman. It's never said that. But guess what? We get that book that Ruckus talk about because it says when it says when sinners says I do. So
Yeah,
obviously
I'm
they
finna
don't
buy
have
that.
a belief system that would say that they would follow what that Proverbs 31 woman looks like. But
Exactly.
Mel, listen, go ahead
Yeah,
and give us your final thoughts. I'm gonna
yeah, I'm
bring
fine for it,
Peter in.
definitely. But you know what I'm seeing more and more of also too online? I'm seeing couples going out buying houses together. Some of them even have kids, more than one kid and stuff, and they're not even married. Yet they living together like they are married and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's like this is the new thing now. Let's have kids. Let's have more than one kid together, live together, and then get married. So I'm seeing that a whole lot online, like with these YouTube couples and stuff like that. Yeah, like most of them are not even married, but they have a bunch of kids together and stuff. Or we building a family, just not working down, building a better
Well,
foundation. You know what I'm
well, let me
saying? Yeah,
just say this and I'm gonna let you go. You know that there's a whole new theory about marriage, how it ruins your life and how you can't trust each other and everybody is real you know nervous about one or the other being used, taking what they build and all that type of thing. So that's why that's why you're hearing that. Now, I don't know what the thoughts are when you buy a house with someone and have kids with someone. I don't know why it's so easy to walk away from that just like a marriage, but in their minds it's a difference. So until until they learn different, that's just what they're gonna do, Male. Um
definitely. And
ain't nothing
you know what I said to y'all two, being that y'all two are married, did y'all actually feel nervous with your partners walking down the aisle saying "I do" to each other and stuff?
I didn't get nervous until I start saying my vows, and then at that time my knees start shaking. Honestly, and I didn't walk down any aisle. I was at the courthouse on a Wednesday evening about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
That was
But
it.
also too, you was very confident in the partners that you chose, that that you want to marry to. See, that's the whole problem. Having too many people, they have accountability. Actually, they keep choosing wrong partners. That I mean, it's plain and simple. And
Security boss.
before y'all get to that step to want to marry each other, they know a lot of too much red flags, giving too much excuses, too much. So, like, when they be so shocked about when the things don't work out in their marriage, now be able to talk about marriage don't work, blah blah blah, and that mess. Like reality, like you constantly choosing these wrong partners that wasn't really right for you to begin with, and you make too many
Right.
excuses for them about their behaviors. You didn't enforce it yourself. It's you. As I talk to the men, y'all like bosses at a job. If you constantly give a coworker that's problem at a job too many chances, they're gonna walk all over you and stuff. And the same thing in relationship. You will now allow so
Mel
much
is
stuff to happen.
long-winded today.
Ignore it. Like
Mel, listen, Mel, listen. You always bring up very good topics, and we're gonna have to talk about that because I never thought about doing a topic is of are you scared? How scared will you before marriage? Because I literally did not become scared until I started actually saying the vows, and then all of a sudden, this is no lie, it became very real to me at that point. I'm serious. And to that point, I was just like gonna marry my dude. But then it was like, oh wow, did I just say that? It all started making sense and things started moving fast. But listen, I'm gonna have you come back and we're gonna have to have another conversation because I'm gonna bring E-Man up and I'm gonna have to let Black Man go because I know he has things he has to take care of.
Yeah,
But I appreciate you being here and I thank you.
shout out to E-Man also too, man. Word, because he's very confident when he chose the woman he chose. I like how he speaks also too with confidence. That's how most men should be when they choosing their partners and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Mel. All right, Black Man.
No.
E-Man.
I want to be here by E-Man here. I know he finna
Okay.
say something crazy.
Okay, but listen, I'm not gonna say it anymore. You just give us a thumbs up when you're ready to leave. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I like the fact that you're here. So, E-Man,
So
what's going on with you, buddy?
pretty good. I believe that a lot of these people broke because they single. They need to get them a wife so that they can get to this bag of money that's waiting on the other side of marriage. But I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it in detail, and I don't know how many minutes I got, but just tell me if I only got 30 seconds. Let me know because I want to talk about it.
I
So
wouldn't do that to you.
first of all, I believe if a woman is contributing financially to the house, you might need to go in there and wash some dishes. You might need to do more of the household roles that she's contributing financially. And I'm not talking about her doing a tip, 10%. I had a conversation with a young a man. And he said that his wife is paying 70% of the bills. So I said, so why are you arguing about washing the dishes? You need to get in there and wash them dishes. It's not about that. She is working close to 60 hours a week. So that means that you need to be washing some dishes. I like those things make sense to me in my mind. It's not her responsibilities. Most of her time is out providing for the family. I'm not knocking the dude. That's how you do it. So you need to wash some dishes, make sure the kids get from school, and you need to do those things. I think that we got to get to the mindset that how can I be the best? What role can I play best for this family? Forget the YouTube talking points. Forget all the other stuff. How can I be an asset to the family? Not just your spouse. How can I be an asset and not a liability to the actual family? And I think this is what a lot of people are missing.
Well, E-Man, we said
Right.
we said probably before you came, but when I do that, make sure y'all getting those likes up. Listen, Mr. Boss has told me, I don't know how many we got to hit now, but I need y'all to get those lights up. Make sure you hit me thumbs up when you come into the live. E-Man, we actually talked about this. Okay. So what I said is a man should always try to position his wife in coming home or not working a lot, making sure she's at home and fixing that, making the house a home for him to come in. So when he's asked, or when he asked to take off his boots, it's no big deal. There's no slavery talk that comes behind that. I don't recommend a woman working 60 or 70 hours a week. But if she is doing that, then the husband definitely should pick up the slack. But is he going to say that he's a slave by doing it? Or is he going to say he's just meeting a need for a time?
Well, I don't think.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to respond. I'll be quick so you can hop in that. I don't think you're a slave if it's volunteer. Marriage is volunteer. Nobody told you to get married.
Exactly.
That's the point. Yes.
Exactly.
So if you volunteer, do you volunteer to be a slave? That sounds stupid. Like we really gotta get to this point that if I decide that I want to be married, I said that I'm willing to take on the responsibilities of marriage. A lot of these things are responsibilities. You know, making sure the clothes are washed, that's a responsibility. It's an adulthood. The thing that I don't understand is you have to do this regardless if you're married or single. Why is it a problem that you got to wash a little bit more clothes or a little bit more dishes? Like this idea that you a slave, I've always been against that talking point. I think it's stupid and very ignorant. And I think it's one of those things that it actually is disrespectful to the people who actually went through slavery. Because they really went through some things.
Exactly. And you know what? You know what else? When you said washing the dishes, I grew up in the South. Well, you did too. You did too. In my grandmother's house, when a man got through with his plate, I remember we would try to go over to the sink. The women in the house, it was like somebody broke in. If they saw a man reaching down in that sink to wash the dishes, oh, what you doing? No man wash no dishes in this house. It was just a rule. They didn't care how much the man made. They didn't care how much the woman made. They just had a set of rules that they teach themselves, their daughters, their grandmothers taught them. Don't no man wash no dishes. Don't no man wash no clothes. Don't no man do none of them. This is for women to do. And this is what the women were saying. There wasn't no slavery, like you just said. It's stupid. There wasn't no slavery. Women said that they don't let men do that. Even to this day, if I go to my grandmother's house, I'm gonna try to video it next time I go visit. I'm gonna go and try to wash my dish, and she's gonna holler at me. No, the boy, you ain't been, you don't wash no dishes here. They just like that.
And it makes total sense because a man has his own role in a marriage that he should be fulfilling. But I think what E-Man's example was in that particular situation, the man was not necessarily fulfilling that role as the provider at that time. So
Right.
in order to take the load from the wife, which she was doing way too much, you said 60 hours a week. That's way too much for a woman.
60 hours. That's a lot.
I don't know what she was doing, but we're typically not built like that.
No.
But especially if they got kids too, that's a bit much. But I understand, and guess what, E-Man? That would be what some women would call a simp because he was willing to go in there and fill that need. If he just sit on the couch and be like, I ain't doing it, then he would be the man, I suppose.
Exactly.
But saying that he would do it and didn't mind doing it, then he would be frowned upon by some men, I'm assuming.
And I want to add this, if I may, for E-Man and Security Boss. I just looked it up. I'm looking up here right now. Since the pandemic, 49.3% of women work from home. 49.3% of women work in their house. in front of a computer.
Okay, so what are you saying about that? What do you mean? Tell me,
What I'm saying is women now are allowed to be in their comfort zones, even if they are working, right? Some women are allowed to be in their comfort zones. They can get up for a break and go put a load of clothes on. They can go watch their favorite TV show. They can look up. I mean, even my wife works from home, right? She works from home, and I'll come in from I'll the days that I'm off and she got to work. I'll come in the room. She up there watching Lifetime.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
that
You know
works
what I'm
for
saying?
some black men, but some jobs have you plugged in.
Yeah,
You tired.
You're right.
You know, some of them really, and I wouldn't like that. I would rather go to the, I would
Right.
rather go
I
to
go
the
to the
job, do
office.
my
Yeah, I go to
business,
the
and
office
leave it.
every day. I go
Yeah,
every day.
mixing it together like that, I think would be very difficult. But hey, they do that. But listen, black man, before you go, I'm not gonna say that anymore. But I got 3 more super chats. Read those for me, please.
I got you. BMU, reach our IG. You're gonna want to do a show on it. Okay, I got you, man.
Oh,
I got you, brother. That's a $2 super chat. Thank you. John the Baptist. GNX sent their kids to liberal colleges and was brainwashed by liberal doctrine.
absolutely. We did. We did a lot of things wrong, John. I'm serious. I told him I confessed. You know how we always blame it on somebody. No, it's this. No, it's that. Nah, we did it. We did a number.
Yeah, Clement Gray. What's up, Clement?
Hey,
$5
Clement.
super chat. He said, SB, please show me a today woman that is a slave, and I will take you back to how women were really treated like slaves. That's what E-Man was saying. This is 2023, not 1925. Stop the cap.
I agree with you, Clement. I don't think the behaviors or whatever they're speaking of that is slavery like isn't slavery like to me anyway. This was just from a comment that was made over on the Daily Wrap Up Crew comment section and it actually starts off like this. If you ask a man to define what a good woman is, it resembles a slave. And if you ask a woman what a good man is, it looks like a simp. That was the actual comment. So it's just that we've gotten so away from just why we can't just be good and sacrificial to each other and just love and reciprocate what goes on in marriage. It just has to always be something negative. And this is just one of those titles or topics that came from it. They're not being slaves in any way. I mean, I wouldn't have any idea. I couldn't have lived in slavery time, honestly. One day and I'd have been gone.
Oh,
One
yeah,
day,
me too. Oh, yeah, I'll be
actually,
dead.
not even 1 day, a half a day. I wouldn't have made it. So, I mean, I don't compare myself to that. I don't know why people do. I think that's just a way. I do know it's a feminist way to get women to think negatively about being married or being with men. So anything I can say negative about being domestic or being with a husband, they're going to speak against it because sisterhood, feminists, and all that wants to keep you single. But why? I don't know. And guess what? A lot
They
of these
liars,
women,
bro. They liars.
they're liars, and a lot of them are actually married, though. How does that work? How do you all listen to a woman that is married tell you to stay away from a man? I don't get that. I don't know how
Yeah.
y'all with that. Black
Uh,
men, we have one more, and I
Yeah,
think we're
John the Baptist, $5 super chat. Thank you, John. Again, E-Man, a husband's leadership is not predicated on a woman working or not working. She is a helpmate. She helps how she sees fit. And now let me add to that. He's probably also saying, I've heard John say this before. What if they're working the same amount of hours a week, or she works a little bit less, but she makes way more money? So say for instance, she makes 115, he makes 90, or he makes 70 and she makes 100. Then most of her money will go to most of the bills because she makes more. But she works less and makes more. A lot of couples are like that. Like you have some dudes that work for corporate America are married to doctors. And so those doctors are going to make way more than their husbands.
So just to quickly respond to John, because I know you got to get back to the super chats. What I'm saying is I wasn't talking about money. I was talking about time. See, everybody thought I was talking about money.
Yeah.
If she's working 60 hours and you're working 20 hours, that says that you have 40 more hours than her. That means that you might take on a load that's the family load a little bit more, aka picking the kids up from school, washing the dishes, making sure things are taken care of. I think we need to stop looking at things from a money aspect because our black man made a great point. If he's working 60 hours a week and he's only making 40 grand, he might not have the time to do a whole bunch of different other stuff. So we got to stop looking at it from a money. And do she have time? Does she supposed to work 80 hours just because she's a woman? Does she just because she's a woman? Do we say that? And I disagree. I think you need to do what's best for the family.
Right. And,
No,
one
see,
thing,
because let me tell you something real quick, Black man, then you can have it. E-man, what's best for the family is always to stay in order. It always is to stay in order. As far as money go, everything goes in one pot. So it doesn't make a difference who's making the most money. You know, at
exactly.
every nation, all money go in one pot. And the
Exactly.
man is the head no matter what he's doing. Even if he did something and they, he's now sitting on the couch, he's still the leader. We still, he still has the plan. He's still that man, even if he's not producing at that moment. So it's very important to stay in order, because when you fall out of order just a little bit, we take it for granted. Actually, we'll say, okay, we got to fulfill this need, and we'll think fulfilling the need means go out and make more money, spend more time, when it actually should be downsize, get rid of. If you don't need this car right now, why have it? If we can't afford HBO and Showtime and all that, why have it? Or if we have to eat more on a budget, let's do it. We don't look at that.
So
We got
security costs.
Yes.
I can lead my family by washing dishes. Like this, I did just because I'm washing dishes, and I know you're not making this point. I know,
No.
but I see some comments in the chat. Just because I'm washing dishes, I'm folding clothes, that doesn't mean that I'm not in a leadership role.
No, it doesn't.
When we look at Jesus, he was washing feet, and he still was the leader of the disciples. Just because I'm in a humble position does not mean that I'm not a leader.
But let me go down south real quick, because one thing that we're forgetting as men and as leaders is that leaders delegate. Watch this. In my house, I have 6 children. One in college, 19. The youngest is 10. All of my kids are self-sufficient. They mama don't have to do nothing behind them. My kids wash their own clothes. They fold their own clothes. They wash their own dishes. They sweep. They mop. They iron. They do. I teach my kids from an early age how to take care of themselves and how to. I don't have no layups in my house. You 19, 15, 14. My twins are 12. You think they're gonna be laying up and they mama washing and drying and folding their? Hell no. You go come here. This how this washer work. Push that button right there. Start the machine. There you go. When they come out, get the clothes at the dryer. They go to ironing board. Iron your clothes. So my wife, I take that completely away from my wife. She don't have to do none of that.
But that was the secret. Back on the farm, and we go back to the farm.
Exactly.
If we both was out working, we gonna have these kids in here washing these dishes and cleaning these clothes, and that's what happened in the country. Now I don't know, I can't tell you how the city folks did it, but in the country, that's what happened. The actual kids took off that burden from the family.
Exactly.
So, I don't want to confuse the situation. As the husband, as the leader, you can do anything you want. I'm just saying it shouldn't be. When I say order, I'm talking about let's don't make things a requirement. Like, for instance, see what happens, and this is not like you said, we're doing south to north or whatever time frame of to now. What happens is if a man tends to do too many things, then it becomes a requirement of him to do. Then we start losing the order. If a woman works too much, she makes too much of the money, then you can't tell me what to do with the money. Right. That type of stuff kind of sneaks in. So that's why I said one pot. That's why I said keep with the order. I'm definitely not saying a husband can't help out with any and all things. Some men cook better than their wives and they love to do so. I'm not telling him not to cook. No, do it. But if he decides he doesn't want to cook on a particular day or a week or whatever, it shouldn't be what you need to be in there cooking. What are we gonna do about food? It should be just reciprocated. Oh, my husband doesn't want to cook today. Let me go in here and figure out what needs to be done. That's what I mean. It's more of an agreement, but we still understand our roles. But oftentimes when it comes to money and responsibility, as far as jobs and money, we lose it sometimes. Women tend to lose it because we're out of order. And it automatically works on our psyche. Automatically. If we're out there making, y'all gave the example of $100,000 and he's only making 20. If she's not that woman who's learned her role as a wife to put it in one pot or still respect her husband in his 20, she's going to start wanting to call the shots for that 100.
She shouldn't be with that man though.
Say that again. No, it could be just temporary. No, he was that man.
Oh yeah, I get it. It's temporary, but if they enter the relationship, she's making $100,000 and he making 20. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's $120,000.
I don't know about that part.
That's $120,000. That's what you need to be looking at.
See,
That's
see,
a
see
recipe
how you
for
just did that, black
disaster.
man? You see how you did that? You see how easy that was to
That's
conflate that?
$120,000
Yeah, it is. But guess what? For what? For whose purpose?
for the family.
Right. But who has the plan?
The man.
Yeah, but he didn't make the money.
He didn't make the money though, right? See? And that's what world we living in today. Now, hold on. Now, security boss. Oh, I love security boss because security boss, your life's starting to be like the Bible. Every time a situation happens, you can go to in there and find something. Security boss said this about Mr. Boss a while back. She said at a time where Mr. Boss wasn't making any money, she was making the money. She brought it home and he would delegate it because he was the head of the house and she had no problem with it. She allowed him to take over that money and do what he will with that money.
He had the plan. It was always a plan for us to do certain things.
It's all about who you married to.
You can be unequally yoked financially. I know we don't supposed to talk about this stuff on YouTube, right? But yes, if you take a doctor and you take somebody like it's unequally yoked is not just a spiritual thing. It can be financially too. That's a recipe for disaster. If you got a woman making 100,000 and she get a man that's making 20,000, you say submit to that lifestyle. I just don't think it. In reality, it don't work. Now we could live in some la la land, but I just don't think that works.
But instead of that woman saying I make 100 and you make 20, she's gonna say, "Baby, we cleared $120,000 this year."
Y'all looking for delusional people.
That's
not true.
It actually happened. Guess what else though? I have also lived many years. Let's say it like this. That probably went on for maybe 3 or 4 years, whereas I've been married 27 years. 20 of those years, he took care of everything. His business superseded everything that I made. So you mean to tell me I'm a cash in my, let's just say 500, 600,000 on 20, what was that, 200,000? Why would I do that? Let's compare to apples.
So let me be transparent in what I'm saying. I'm not saying that income cannot fluctuate in marriage. I'm not saying that. But if you enter a situation with her making 100,000, he making 20,000, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a problem. Now, I'm not. So if a man say, "Hey, I'm making 800,000," something happened for some reason, he had to go down to 20 for a season of his life. I'm telling that woman to get behind that man because she know that that's not how they entered into that. I'm never an advocate of divorce. Let's be completely transparent. But if you tell a woman that's making $100,000 to go talk to that man that's $20,000, you are setting her up for failure. That's just how I feel.
So hold on. So if my wife made 20 and I made it, because men don't do that. But if my wife made 20 and I made 100, a man's not going to ever say that. A man's not going to say, "I'm bringing."
I think he should. See, that's the point. I think you should be equally balanced. For example, me and my wife was in the same income range when we got together. Like doctors date doctors, nurses date nurses. A doctor should not be dating somebody that like this.
Wait. What do you say to all the couples who for 20 years and 25 years were in that situation, and in year 27 it changed?
See, but you missed what I said. I said inside of a marriage, if the income changes, that is okay. I'm talking about in the courting stage. When you're courting for marriage, if he make 20,000, you make 100,000, y'all guys are unbalanced. It is an unbalancing, like I'm not talking about when you marry, because you said that if you've been together for 20 years, if you've been together for 20 years,
what is the unbalance is just based on the income that they make? Is that what you're saying?
So I think unequally yoked is a spiritual thing, it's a financial thing, it's a maturity thing. I think it's layers to unequally yoked. It's not just spiritual.
No, but unequally yoked is actually a yoke. It's something different than what you're saying. But I understand what you're saying.
It is, yeah.
But I mean, okay, so you're thinking, okay, let me fix me if I'm wrong. Are you saying a woman with a capability of making $20,000 is not fit or shouldn't be with a man that makes 100,000 because of the intellectual level or whatever the situation may be at the time? Is that what you're saying? That's what makes them unequal?
I'm saying that can be a layer of it. So I think if a man is making $150,000 and he go with someone in a mindset let's say a $20,000 job. We talking McDonald's or different things like that.
I gotta go.
All right, I got it, baby. Okay, thank you, black man.
All right, see y'all later, man. E-Man, my boy.
Man, I want to hear about this, but I want to hear about this. But let me do this super chat really quick. Clement Gray, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says, listen, y'all, I can't see very well today, but I'm going to try my best to do this. Mr. Boss is going to accompany me. My grandmother opened her business at 6 a.m., closed at midnight, and still found time to feed grandfather and all of us. I agree with you about slave SB. There is no such thing. AL, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. I met the woman who led a team in the 80s to create the first smart sub engine. Oh, smart sub engine. She had a child and still worked full time and taught at MIT. She said she treated her husband like a king, no excuses. I agree. But that only can happen for a time. But you know what? Never ask a person about how they treat their maid. You got to ask the person who's being the treatment is going to. He would tell the true story. Not saying that she didn't treat him like a king, but you have to ask him. John the Baptist, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Time or money? She is my helpmate. She works at my directive. All right. Is that all? And we have another one here. Who is that? I can't see who that one belongs to. Oh, AL, thank you again for your $5 super chat. There's a difference how do they make that 20K? Okay, it could be at McDonald's job, or is he in grad school, or stipend, or started a new business, different mindsets. You're exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask. E-Man, I was going to ask you that question because that $20,000 could be coming several different ways. He could be starting a new business as an entrepreneur. It's just all these things. He said could be McDonald's, and that would be somebody. I get what you're I get it. But even with the woman, it could be that she's going to get her doctorate degree or whatever. It could be those $20,000 could be coming all different ways. So I understand if that's what you're saying, but I don't think the mindset should be interrupted. I don't agree with that part. Far as because they could be very much on the same level spiritually, intellectually. It could be just that he could be on his purpose and have it fulfilled, and she could be just now entering into a space and deciding whatever she wants to do. Now, I've had this happen. I know a young lady I met not too long ago. Her name is Mega. She was going to school. She already had a doctorate degree, I think, and she was actually going back to get something else, to be a neurosurgeon. She actually met her husband and they got married within 6 weeks. So she quit school. So, things like that do happen. Not a lot, not the majority, but so I think it differs when you're talking about man to woman.
So I'm talking about, so you got to understand the advice I'm giving is to the majority. I'm not talking to the exceptions right now.
Gotcha.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so the one thing that I'm saying is that $20,000 people and $100,000 people think different. Right? I've been around $20,000 people. I mean, from the whole, see, we're not talking about the one-offs. But if you get around a whole bunch of people that make $20,000, they have a certain type of mindset. They have like a survivor's type mindset. Right. Typically, when you start looking at $85,000, $200,000, these people thinking more of a thriving mentality, right? I see when I was around 20,000 people, they was talking about people. When I was around people that's making $200,000, they was talking about the future. So what I'm saying is, when we start talking about being yoked with someone or coming together with someone, I'm saying that financial status does make a difference. Not only her financial status, but also her family's financial status. Because it teaches me what she have learned. Does she know what a 7-course meal is? Does she know proper table etiquette? Like, these are the things that make a difference in the business space that I am in.
I don't know about that because she could have been groomed to be a wife, and she may not have. She may have a very high IQ, could be intellectually smart, know exactly how to be a wife, come from a family where the father is a husband, and that was what she grew up in, 2-parent household and all of that. But just wanted to be a wife. That was her job and that's her position.
That's a rare position for people that's at the $20,000 income. Typically.
I don't know.
I know.
Maybe 20,000. You're right. This day and time, that may not be a good number. You might be right about that. But I'm thinking I'm thinking single woman that wants to be a wife, groomed to be a wife, and just living as an adult, but has not committed to any kind of career. Is I should have said it more like that.
Yeah. So say for example, if someone's in college and they're doing a side job, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Right.
talking about somebody in adulthood that's
Right.
typically working in something that they're going to be in. Like that's their. If you're in your passion, I think nurses should date nurses and doctors should date doctors. I know that sounds crazy, but I have learned is when you come from typically the same income level, I think you bond a lot better than two people different. Because
I don't know. I don't know about that exactly, but I'm just thinking about my situation and the people that are around me. I'm around a lot of entrepreneurs. You know how that go. We up and down. We up and down. Like for instance, I worked a job when my husband married me, but he was always the entrepreneur. You know, he's always had that mindset. So we were always going to own a business. Always. That business might change throughout. So I adapted to him. So
so
women,
remember, entrepreneurs are a very small population of the is a small population of group. So I'm not talking about entrepreneurs. There's a reason I'm using words like doctors and nurses because I'm talking about average people with job. Now it's a whole different layer because my first 2 years as an entrepreneur, I think we was negative on our taxes. We spend more money, but we understand that there's just a small group of the populations that is actually entrepreneurs. So it's a whole nother rule. I'm just talking to the masses, if that makes
right.
sense.
Listen, AL says my grad stipend was 30,000. Yeah, I might have been off on the 20,000. I get it. I was just making a number. But my point I was trying to make by this though, E-Man, is that women adapt to their husbands though. We adapt to you all. So I don't know. When we have to. So if we're already coming in and we're in the same field and have somewhat of the same mindsets, I mean, I don't know if that makes that easier or what have you, but you know, I do know marriage works if you stay in the order and we're all in our, you know, relative positions, husband, wife, you know what I mean? But I just, you know, I don't know. I don't think that that's a requirement. I don't think that that's, you know, I get what you're saying. It may work better or it may work just as well because I understand you don't want to get with somebody that does not speak your language. And I'm going to say it that way to be gentle. That doesn't understand what you're saying. But I don't even think a man would marry a woman like that, though. Where would he pick her up at? Where would that be? I also, well, you know what, though? Didn't Kevin Samuel make a video about the girl at McDonald's or something like that?
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Mhm.
That's the point that I'm saying is that I just think that because right now we got this theory, right? I'm hearing it on YouTube that there's no good women out there, right? I believe a lot of men are just looking in the wrong places. I think they're out there. If you start looking at some of the women that's in different places, you know, because what I'm asking them to do is to level up their thinking. When you start thinking somebody that's making as much money as you know, your money might not be that impressive to them. Now
Yeah.
you actually got to win them over for you. But if I go down, if I'm making 150,000, I'm talking to somebody making 20,000. She's impressed by the type of money that I'm making.
Probably.
And so it's just a different layer of thinking. Like I said,
You know what though? I don't know about that. She could be just I don't know. Because if a person doesn't know money, they don't know it. And if she's actually settled in at making whatever income and settled in as an adult, just being in a survival mode, she may not even recognize the money. You know, she may just be about you. She may actually see it as a win. You know what I mean? Like she may just see it as appreciation. She might be just that humble enough to see, hey, this particular man right here wants me. It could be viewed as a plus. So I don't really know. But man, listen, it's been a pleasure having you over here these last couple of weeks. And I thank you for being here.
no problem. I appreciate you coming up. You always have a different dynamics and layers to the conversation. So I appreciate you having me over here.
Thank you. Listen, we always have conversation. Is that what you're trying to say? We
Different
don't
ways.
be pulling out each other's.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. Scam.
How's it going? How's my audio?
It's good. I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Um, what I keep hearing through YouTube and the Talking Point Mafia, they keep making up these robotic fictional characters to
What you
where
mean?
if a man is making $37.2 an hour and 67 cents, And if she irons one piece of clothing and two dishes, these are robots. Real people are people. I assume you went somewhere, you saw the man that you wanted, or he came and said something, hey, I've been looking in your eyes. And his name was Mr. Boss. Y'all dated, got along, and said, hey, I like this man because I like the person that he is. He said, I want this woman, and y'all decided to figure out something that works. Kind of like what my parents did, what my uncles and some of them did. And then there's some of them who tried it and it didn't work. Everybody ain't married and didn't. I mean, I get it. Let's be realistic. But these are people. People got personalities. People got goals, dreams, flaws, all that other stuff. Instead of just $37,200 a year. These type of men they're different. I can put you in front of a room with me and 6 of my closest friends, and we're all different. We want different things. We've got different attitudes, different personalities, different goals, different levels of influence, different communication patterns. But YouTube makes these fictional characters, and even this fictional tyrant man who buys into the talking points. If you do this, it's a partnership, and that makes you a simp. You're gonna get divorced and are taking it all, and that's not reality. Or you got to make it. If you're not a high value man, if you're not making all the money, and she's not, you're all this stuff. And then you go to the woman, and she just likes that regular dude in the post office who knows how to talk that game and speak and get that twinkle in her eye. And she falls heavily in love. That's the dude she wants. Most people are dating average people. Most people are average. Most people want regular, or I'm going to say it. If most of the men in the higher income, it ain't that many of them, a lot of them are married, and the rest of them, most of them don't have any kids. But you're looking at a population full of a whole bunch of kids running around here. Somebody's making those kids, which means somebody liked somebody, at least for 15 minutes. And those people weren't all high value and tyrants, or she didn't have to cook all 8 meals and fire up all these dishes. It ain't reality. But then there's YouTube and the talking point mafia. Some of this stuff gets so bad, I don't know what they're talking about anymore. And I'm not saying any names, because I agree with some of what I was just hearing. But it's not to where if he makes 48 and she makes 65, he got a problem. She might be average looking, and she can't get the dude making 228. But
Scam,
that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Realistic.
But when you compare it to what me and Mr. Boss did back then, that was before all the social media and the internet dating and all that stuff kicked off. We were back when you really had relationships with people, when things were a bit more organic, when you did meet people. You didn't have access to millions of women and men that you could actually touch. Nowadays you could pick up your phone and call somebody and never know their number. So
most of those. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying you have so much access, so things are different in that aspect. Now, I got to tell you though, it is best that you try to build relationship with someone the way that we did. That makes it more genuine for you, makes it more authentic. You actually get to know the person. You spend time. You actually get to touch the person. How about that? But with that being said, you on YouTube here, and it's giving you an outline on how things should be. It's trying to make it easier for you, I would say. It makes it easier, but it's not accounting for all the access that you have to so many different women. So it gives you the blueprint per se, but it didn't tell you to apply it, or that you might be applying it to 200 different women. In our day, you met the person at work, you went to school with them, it was somebody your cousin, somebody knew them, or they were just on the opposite side of town. So it made it very easy to figure out who and what you were dealing with. Now you could actually get the killer. Yeah, you could be sleep one night and end up with the killer the next day. And they could have checked all the boxes of every characteristic, every criteria that was necessary for you to have with these YouTube talking points. They could have checked every one of them. It could have been like a plus, 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 but it has no character to it. No character shows up in those talking points. There's no realness about that person. It's just, do they fit the box? So the relationship is very much needed. So I don't think I can tell you guys is to take it slow and have
Well,
some independent on your own and don't always use a talking point. But they're not all bad. There are some things out there that they tell you to look for that should be done. Should be done. Absolutely. But
yeah, well, the other thing is like the man, if you got to be a superhero and cook, clean, mop, and clean the gutters every day as a man, she doesn't like you. That's probably why. Um, YouTube talking point number one should be evaluate and find out if the woman even likes you or not. Does she qualify and does she like you? And does she qualify you? Now, I should have been married. I screwed it up. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't know what I know now. And I had some great women. And if I'd have known one or two more things, I wouldn't be trolling panels. I'd be hosting them. But those women liked me. I knew that. There was a connection. There was a whole bunch of conversations that didn't need to be had versus ones that did. Just like the whole cooperation thing about the cleaning the house and who's washing the dishes. We were kids. And my parents could say, hey, man, this house looks a mess. Get it done. And me, my brother, and sister would figure out a way to get it done. Just like you do with everything else in life. So if two people like each other and want to be with each other, they'll figure it out. Who's going to pay what? Who's going to clean the garage? Who's going to, or they just figure out as much and just deal with the rest. Everything ain't perfect. But all the stuff, all the extra just stuff that they're putting into it, the data and analytics of what the average person did in 1822, just no. The answer is just no. That's my opinion.
all right, thank you. Thank you, Dusto, Scam Likely today. And we appreciate that. Listen, just you gotta keep it real. You gotta keep it real. And we're gonna, sometimes like you said, this is only entertainment. So that's what you said. You can't look for entertainment and then expect it to be real. So you still have to have your own independent thought about what you're doing. And I hope you
But
do
there
find
is,
a wife soon because I would love for you to be talking about marriage. If I see that in my time, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is perfect right here.
I'm gonna
Number one,
marry a troll.
number one troller.
I'm, I'm gonna marry a troll.
All right, then. Thank you, Scam. Bye bye. So successfully, MD, you have a very good question there. It says here, is money the real motivator for people to have channels on YouTube? I don't know about everybody, but let me tell you this. Far as I go, I have a mission and a job to do as an elder woman. And as a married woman, I should be telling individuals, women, on what it's like to be married. And that is my job. That is my job. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. To speak wisdom and life into individuals. You have so much negativity in these spaces that it's ridiculous, but people happen to love it. It's almost like this. It's you know what I see it as? I see it as a big old playground. And if y'all can remember playgrounds when y'all were younger, on the playground, you got the boys hitting the girls and the girls hitting the boys, and then they run or they cuss each other out and they just, play rough and all of that. Don't play together, but they just love it. This is all it is. It's just love, love, love. But over here at SB Nation, I don't ask for money. If you want to support the channel, that is totally up to you. I definitely appreciate it. As far as my wife ed goes, I don't ask for money. I love to share with women on how to be, and I'm gonna say it this way, in my position. I'm not saying that they need to have what I want, but I want women to win. I think women should definitely be covered, and I would love to see women who want to be married and covered. This place as a single woman is not good for a woman. Being single out here in this world, it ain't good. It's not good to see women out at exotic painting sips having oral sex with random men. It's not good to hear you guys, I'm not talking about you particular, to hear men in these spaces calling women 304s and talking about how they bust them down and, on and on and on and on, talking about them negatively like that. I hate to hear that, although I know there are some that really fit the bill. Don't get me wrong. I do know we have some issues. But so that's why I do it. Again, though, if somebody wants to support my channel, I love it. I appreciate you so much for doing so. But as far as me asking for money, I don't do that. I happened to be blessed when I came in the door. So I'm a fortunate one. So now I just need to give back. So, but Mr. Martin, I hope you're there.
Yes, ma'am. How you
How are
doing,
you
ma'am?
doing, sir?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You can. I'm not an American. I'm a different guy. I'm from Africa. So, but I've been watching your show, and it's very, very good. It's a good show. But also, I want to say this: the E-man, most of his, statement or argument, I don't agree with it at all because he can't even succeed with that if he come to Africa. He's gonna fail. Like he's gonna drop. Marriage is a blessing. Some people don't. Most people don't understand what marriage is. And for me, I'm a married man,
Hmm.
but I don't see marriage as a partnership. A wife role is is unique, and the husband's role is unique. They have two different roles to play. And when everybody individually, when they do their job as the wife and as the husband, we come to a better place.
Absolutely. That is so good, Martin. You are exactly right. Peaceful place.
Because peaceful, very, very peaceful.
Hmm.
Wife, as a man, I cannot be a wife. No, I can't do that. Because if I do it, I'm going outside my own territory. I'm stepping out. As a wife, you should do your job. And when it comes to money, when it comes to money, I don't know if it's an American thing where people look at money that much. I like what Black Man said about money. He said if this is making 10 and the other is making 20, it's 30 in the family. They're all together. Because if they're separate, there's going to be a problem. There would definitely be a problem because money brings problem.
Yep.
It brings a whole problem in marriage. Money brings problem. And what I understand while I was growing up is if you said the last thing God gave a man was a woman after creation.
Hmm.
The man was under him, the man was working, the man got his own thing going on and everything. But after creation, God looked at everything. Animals, they got a female and everything. The only thing that the man don't have was a female, but the man was under God, the man was working, the man was doing everything. He said he needs a woman, and he gave him a woman. That was the last gift he gave him
I
to
agree.
help him, to
Yep.
help him, to help, not to be in charge, not to be in charge of the man. No, not to be in charge of the man. It is to help the man make his life easy. Help the man make his life easy, not to be in charge of the man. That is where so many people get so confused. If you're coming in, that's when I was growing up, I made a decision in my life that I can never in my life move in with a woman. It is out of order. Like me moving in with a woman. Nah, she has to come in and make that place, make my house, make that house a home for
Yep.
me. Make it
Yes.
peaceful. She had to come in, and my duty is to take care of her. She don't even have to do it. She has to make my life easy. I don't have to put her. I don't have to put her out there to go out there and walk and fight and do all this chaos and come back home and expect her to be a wife. No, that is the reason why I tell some of my friends, I said, man, you have to be on your purpose. You have to be on your duty first before you get married. You have no business. If you don't have a house, you don't have a job, you don't make your money right and all this stuff, you don't have no business with a woman. Talking about even thinking about children. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Get yourself right. I love your show.
Thank
Every time I
you.
watch your show, I love your show. And you don't even have to ask for money. You should be getting more money because you're sending blessings out there. I tell you, you're sending blessings out there because you're helping a whole lot of people. Because if you're married, you're not a partner. Your wife is unique. You're not a slave. Your wife is unique. And the husband is unique too. They have two different roles.
Yes.
Play in the house. They have two different roles. They are not partners. They're not like you're not that is not a job. That is duty.
So Martin, let me ask you a question. What are the marriage rates like in Africa?
My God, we don't do rings. We do diaries.
Dowries. Okay, so where do you live in Africa though? What do you live?
I live in the United States, but I'm
Oh,
from
okay.
Africa.
You're from Africa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm from Africa. I live in the
Okay.
United States,
I
but
got
I'm from Africa.
you. Okay.
So we do diaries.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, people gonna say, "You're paying for her. You're buying her out." No, you're not buying her out. They're gonna tell you right there before you get married to her. Let me say this.
Martin?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you went out for a moment, but go ahead. I can
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah, yeah. I got a call on my phone. My bad.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick because I'm gonna make some people gonna go crazy out here now. in Africa, before you go and get married to your girl, you have to see the father.
You have to see
I don't.
what?
You have to see the girl's father.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a must.
Mm-hmm.
And if the man don't like, if the man disapprove of that man, you're not gonna get married to that person. And these are the questions. These are the questions they will ask you. They ask me the same question. These are the questions they will ask you. What type of job do you do? Do you live? Do you live by yourself? They're gonna ask you some personal questions. For how long? For how long? For are your parents together? They're gonna ask you that.
Well, they should, Martin. I mean, if they're giving over their daughter, which is one of their prized possessions. I know we don't want to be called possessions, but they're giving their daughter over to you. They want to know, especially the dad wants to know that you have the ability to take care of that child or their daughter, as a wife. And they want to know that, she's in good hands as much as they want, they want to be able to ask as many questions as possible. So, they're going to ask that question. And do you have children?
I don't have no children yet because
No, not
the
yet.
reason
Okay.
why I don't have any kids yet is because I know kids are expensive
Okay.
right now, and
Mhm.
we have to plan. We're
Okay.
doing right, and we have to plan this because when it comes in, kids needs emotional attention, physical attention, financial attention, and everything. All the stuff I have to be in place. You
Right.
have to attend to all this. You can't just say, because I hear so many people say that's the best I can do. Nah,
Mm. Oh
that's
God,
not the best.
I hate
Nah,
that. Yeah, I know.
that's not the best you can do. As long as you sign up for this, your own want is the last thing you're gonna think of. You're gonna think of your wife. You're gonna think of your children. You will think of your wife. You're gonna think of your children because whatever happened to your wife and your child or your children, they will come after you. That's in
Okay.
my own family, where I'm from. Anything happened to your household, they're coming after you. You will be the first person they're gonna ask the question because
All right, Martin.
they expect you to be the leader.
They definitely do. Listen, Martin, I thank you so much for your kind words and watching my show and listening. Please do continue to come back. Hey, I saw you back there, cool nerd. You can come back up. It is your turn if you have something you want to add to the show. But Martin, listen, it's been a pleasure. Hope to see you soon.
I'm watching you every day.
All right. Thank you so
I'm
much,
watching
Martin.
you every day.
All
You're
right. Have
welcome.
a good day. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
So, hey, we got the link out there for you. I think if you want to come back and complete that thought, if you're busy, I definitely understand. But anyway, y'all, listen. today we've gone over some things. Modern women or modern men want slave and modern women want simps. Listen, I don't get this at all. I don't think being a wife has anything to do with being a simp. With being a simp, excuse me, anything to do with being a slave. I think that is just terrible that we would actually associate anything to being a slave in this modern time. Taking care of your home or taking care of your house, making it a home for your husband, washing dishes, being an adult woman, being a good wife, taking your husband's boots off if he asks to do so. There is nothing wrong with that because you probably have a man that is definitely reciprocating or taking care of you just as well, if not better. So we need to really stop tripping. And that's what wife ed is going to be like. I don't know why we marry people that we obviously somewhere along the line end up hating. Hating him. And it seems as though that there's such a burden to us once we get married that now we have to feel like I can't do anything for them. That's ridiculous. We have to figure out how we can fall in love with being wives. We have to figure out how we can be humble enough to accept the proposal of marriage from these men that are saying, listen, I'm willing to take care of you. We have to go over these vows with these men and say, listen, are you willing to do this? We have to vet and make sure everything is out on the table before we take that big step. Because I think it was Bomb Cherry that said it. This is one of the biggest decisions in your life you will ever make. And it is. It's a real one. If done right, and it's not a perfect thing, y'all. If done right with the same person that has the same mindset and belief system as you, it can go on for life. And to death do you part. It actually can. Now, is it going to be perfect? No, absolutely not. I am still a woman. My husband is still a man. We have difference in opinions. You know, we're at the point now we just walk things completely out. We listen. We don't argue anymore. We kind of gotten to that point where we just like laugh at each other, you know. You a joke. You're a joke. No, you're a joke. You know, that kind of stuff. So we're at a good point in our life. We would love for most people to be there and most people to see that and it not be a burden at any time to be with the man that you chose to marry. That's so ridiculous. That's got to be a turmoil. That has to be turmoil to come home every day and dislike the man that has married you or vice versa. You just dislike the woman that is your wife. We got to figure this out. We deserve better. We should behave better. I don't know sometimes what we're looking for. There's no perfect person out there. Marriage is definitely what you make it. And this is the one relationship that you should be pouring into. That is definitely the one. That's what I say. So anyway, I've been here a long time, I think. No, I haven't. Yes, I have. I've been here a while. And it's now time to go. AL, I'm sorry I missed you. But guys, comment section, you've been outstanding, as always. Thank you for being here on Wednesday. I think we may have cruise season. If not, who knows what I'll be doing. Also, I think on Thursday, this coming Thursday, I am going to be with Shaz Sharday. We're going to be talking about some good stuff too. But again, Friday, I'll be back again with Freestyle Friday. But this week, I think I'm going to do a day show. But Mr. Boss will advertise it. I think I'm going to do my first day show coming this Friday. But we're going to let y'all know. I want to see how the turnout is on Friday morning. I want to see if you guys will come and support on Friday morning. I know some of y'all work, but we'll just see. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to see. Now, wait a minute. Let's see here. If you have not yet given me the thumbs up as you came into the live, make sure as you on your way out, you're giving me the thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. And guess what, guys? Y'all have a good night. And thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Screaming stage, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to flow. It's so different with distance we roam into zones where nothing get hurt anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in a daze, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my to death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist the spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reasons, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road, I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road.